Hello. Tonight we're going to be talking to Stella about Reign of Heaven. It's something that interested me, and it probably will resonate with many once they understand what it actually is. Lee knows a lot about it. He knows members of it, and Daniel will be back and forth. So Stella, hi.
Hi.
So where do you want to start? Do you want to start, Lee, and ask a question, or do you want Stella just to do her thing and you just get in because she's not going anywhere anytime soon?
I'll ask a question.
Okay.
Just to explain the Reign of Heavens. Just go back into some of the background of why Reign of Heavens. What got people thinking to take this as a route? Okay, and the development of it and where it's at now. Because I was on a call last night and I heard some pretty interesting things on the call that wasn't there 3 years ago when I was on calls. And it seems more organized.
You're growing.
Well,
we're growing and learning.
Right.
Okay, so we'll start with the Reign of Heaven, and if everybody will shut up, I'll talk.
Okay.
All right, the Reign of the Heavens is actually a country. It's named in the Bible. It was set up as the original kingdom for the Son of the Creator. So we'll start with that. We found that country, set the temple there. Then the temple founded the temple in the U.S., which is operating the government under the temple. An actual republic-style government under the temple. So the temple acts as an umbrella for the government. The government acts as an umbrella for the people. And the umbrella for the people is made up of people. Now, the government started out very small. It was a post office and a temple. Keith is our postmaster. Now we have a lot of postmasters under him, so he's the postmaster general, and we're general postmasters. We
So
use
how did
code for our addresses. Keith received the post office from a naval postal general that was left it to the country and the temple jointly in his will. So now we use his signature left to us for our post office to run from. Clear enough?
Okay.
Yes, okay, yes. Okay, now let me ask a question to that. In my duty and in my knowledge, I have a title of Galactic Postmaster, and I had to do that title because of some problems through the secret languages and some people that had title of World Postmaster. But how is the post office standing with the nation now?
Our post office is a part of the country. It's a part of our nation.
Which based the nation's based upon that contract, is that correct?
Right.
Okay, okay. That's a good thing, though. That's a really good thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
So Stella, what really caught me was the Act of 1871 and how people have to understand we don't live under that Constitution, but you were explaining it went way back before the Revolutionary War. way back
Yes.
to Manhattan and the Netherlands and everything else.
Well,
So maybe you want to walk us through?
It goes back to the original Articles of Confederation, where the Articles of Confederation tell the people what to do. They tell them to amend the Articles. There is not one word in those original Articles of Confederation that says they're supposed to make a constitution.
Or a public debt.
Constitution is actually the bylaws of the corporation.
It's the public debt.
Came over from England.
Right.
So when we hear things like the Boston Tea Party and all these things we hear, it's probably not like how we think it is, right?
No, not exactly. You have to understand that whoever wins a war writes the books. And really, we didn't win the war. We never really fought a war with England. The British king hired the Hessians to put on British uniforms and attack the Americans. When the Queen comes to the corporate U.S. land, does she ever visit the graveyard of fallen British soldiers? You've watched the news.
So it was just to create the bankruptcy then. That's what I'm getting out of that.
Exactly. It created a bankruptcy for the U.S. so that the British government could take it back with no problem.
Could own us.
They own us lock, stock, and barrel, and have for many, 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 many years.
But that's the device they used right there. What you're pointing out, isn't it? That's how they did it.
Yes. They basically usurped the U.S. before the U.S. could get off its feet. Before it could ever toddle, its legs were knocked out from under it. It was basically put in chains.
So Benjamin Franklin lied when he said you have a republic if you can keep it. He was lying.
They had already taken it.
Yeah, he was lying through his front teeth, wasn't he?
Yes.
What he did, he just secured that we have a public debt. That's what they did.
Yes. You have to understand that in my lifetime, I was told when I was coming up through school that the public debt was what the other countries owed us from World War II.
Stella, I have evidence of 14 quadrillion, $300 trillion bond that they wrote in on the Federal Reserve Bank, and they hold us, all real men with hands and legs, as surety, as agricultural fixtures. I have evidence that they did.
All you need is to look up a census report. The last census report that came through, and they asked about the dogs, the cats, and then your name. Because they were counting animals. Dogs,
when they counted us, that's correct.
And the two-legged ones. If you go back to when Hillary Clinton was, what did they call her? I don't remember now. There have been so many of these crooks that it's hard to keep up with. But anyway, she was she had John Kerry's position now, Secretary of State, okay. I had to stop and think who was current so I could get it. But she was the old Secretary of State. And while she was Secretary of State, they passed a agricultural bill which declared every human on Earth as a monster, an animal. Okay?
That's defined in Black's Law Dictionary. Human is defined as a monster. You're correct.
Right, and here's why. because every human is female.
That way she can birth the merchandise.
The female births the monster.
Which is the merchandise.
Well, no. You become the merchandise when you accept the name of the monster.
Okay, I see. Okay, thank you. But wasn't that implied upon us all? Or do they have it broken to where our mother caused it, didn't she?
Your mother signs paperwork saying that she had a baby and it was so-and-so, and gives the name of it.
But they didn't really disclose it to her.
They also hand her a piece of paper where she signs to register the birth certificate of the infant. Now, you notice I said baby the first time, and when I said the second piece of paper, I said infant.
So there's the rub.
You have a baby that's born and an infant that's born. The infant is the monster. The baby goes home with mom and dad. The infant is left on the hospital floor.
As garbage, but it's their treasure.
Well, it's their treasure because it's DNA.
And they have that to go with the document the mother signed.
Right. And when you go into court, they ask you your name and you tell it to them, just like it's written on that birth certificate. So you're accepting the position of being the monster and responsible for whatever they're mad at the monster for. Now, the government, actual government that exists today, went back and picked up the Articles of Confederation, brought them forward by amending them, came on time forward. We finally got to the point where now we have our post office running, we have our temple running, we have a whole lot of different organizations within the government running. We have our own DMV now. We have our own treasury now. We have our own ID cards now. And our ID is being accepted and checks are being cashed with our IDs. And no other form of identification.
So you have a currency system as well, is that correct?
We have a currency system that is up and running. It's still in its baby steps, but it's growing daily.
And it's printed on hemp paper, isn't it?
Yes.
See, Stella, my mind thinks in unification. It does not think in division. I think in unification. You see?
Yes, I know, and it's very difficult for you to really understand the ins and outs of the non-corporate government because you're so steeped in the corporate maritime government.
Right. Well, that's the device within which we're trapped. So that's what I've studied, is the way within which they've done it to us.
We're trapped two ways.
Okay.
We're trapped as slaves of the state. But we're also trapped as humans in these bodies. And this has nothing to do with my government. It's my personal teachings.
So then liberty's more than just one thing, isn't it?
Yes, it is. A lot more than just one thing. If you ever done any past life work or psychic work of any kind, you know that this is not your first time around. I think anybody with a brain will admit this is not their first time around. We either go places or we meet people that we know we've met before. It happens to everyone, not just you, Jada.
Stella.
I have had people actually travel across the United States and wait for me that I had never met or talked to. But they were waiting for me to show up because they knew I was going to be there.
And they felt it.
They were basically led there. They asked me a question, I answered the question, and they left. Haven't seen them again. Another time I had a girl come up. She got a job at a place here in town and basically waited for me and my friend to walk in the door because she knew we were going to show up there.
That's all right. So you're getting visitors, huh? Of a different kind.
I have people showing up that need help when they need help. Like, for instance, I met Jade one day. The next day, she finds a duck that needs help. I'm trying to tell her how to release the souls that are trapped, and she's worried about a duck.
She's a good person, Stella. Her heart's good.
And I love her. I adopted her as a daughter.
Yeah, she's very, she's like that duck. In a lot. And she's very mature. In other words, you know, somebody can just really scream at her and she'll set it off like a duck out of the water, like a duck getting water on it, you know, which
Right.
is really mature. That's extremely mature.
Why in the world do you get upset because somebody screams at you? They're just showing their age.
That's it. You're
Not
correct.
yours. The only time a person's opinion of you should matter to you is if you think more of their opinion of you than your opinion of you.
That's it.
You
That's
know,
good advice. I like that. Keep that coming.
this isn't not my advice. This is what I learned as a child from my grandmother.
Well, okay.
My grandmother was a full-fledged pagan witch.
I don't judge anyone for anything that they do at all. And I think a person's better than the worst thing they've done. But I think we all know wrong from right, and we all go by what the conviction is to our heart.
That's our problem. We all know wrong from right. Why?
Well, maybe we're conditioned to that too.
Are you a Bible reader?
I can't help the. I've read my Bible from front to back 13 times throughout my life.
Oh, good. Great. Then I'll
Yeah.
ask you a question.
Okay.
Have you ever sat down with the first four chapters of the Bible, Genesis, and actually wrote down on one side how they describe the creation of people and the world? Then drawn a line and gone to the second chapter and the second deal of creation and wrote it down point by point. If you do, you will see that Genesis is not a repeat of the original creation. It's a second creation. They're different. Their orders are different. What they do is different, and how they're supposed to do it is different.
I see that, yes. You're correct.
Most people don't see it.
Well, one will do one thing in the presence of the other, and the other will see it, and he just knows what to do because of it. You see?
The first group was told they could eat of any tree and to go forth and fill the earth. The second group didn't come along for a good 6,000 to 7,000 years later. Maybe even more. I'm not really sure. Did we lose Jada?
No, she's here.
No, I'm here. I wanted to speak to you because I'm going to let you finish this part, because in the Bible, that was a big part of me even realizing the whole other side in the real world, because I knew just from Genesis, which Lee and I went through, he could see everything I could see in the Bible. But what stood out to me was, I always said there was two deities in the Old Testament, because there's that one deity that was wanting sacrifice and blood and all this and that. But you made a lot of sense when you said there was cannibalism, and that's why everything had to be wiped out, because of the Nephilims.
Well, see, let me say this on that, okay? When we read, we see here it says, afflict the needy, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hands of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. And that's Psalms 82.
Mm-hmm.
And so that does an awful lot that the preachers preach.
You have to go back to the beginning to understand why we have people today who we sit back and look at them and say, how can they be that evil? How can they do that?
Because they're Canaanites, right?
Because we know right from wrong.
And they don't.
We shouldn't know right from wrong.
Well, yeah,
we have a Kundalini. They don't.
Okay, let me ask
if
you
you're capable of the psychic vision of a person's Kundalini movement, you look at these people that are so-called people doing this stuff, and you'll see the Kundalini is not there.
Now, Stella, do you think they're actually people? Because that's a big thing right now. People are saying they're printed off, they're automatons, they're cloned, they're reptilians. Do you think they actually are loving human beings like us?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
And these are the royal people that make the laws. So,
no.
Is their right and wrong different from our? Like, if they're born with ancestral DNA and they feel they have the right to do what they do, do you think that they fear no consequences for what they do, or maybe through the reincarnation soul trap that they don't have consequences, or they can never I know they can never truly ascend for all the evil things that they have done. I mean, what do you suggest? Are these people, are they like us? They have different blood? Do you feel they have different blood than us? Because some people say that we cannot breed with them. Like, if I was to get Kate Middleton pregnant right now, her body would her body would miscarriage the baby.
The rhesus negative gene, RH negative and RH negative.
Yep, RH negative gene.
No, RH negative gene has nothing to do with their bloodline.
That's good, because my blood's RH negative.
I'm RH negative too.
Doesn't matter. RH negative, RH positive has absolutely nothing to do with the weird bloodline.
So they are just, so then there is, good and evil, and they are just choosing to be evil or blindsided if they're born into this. They just...
They're possessed, aren't they, Stella? Aren't they possessed by an entity of some type? An ancient evil on the earth?
No.
So they're just evil like that?
No.
Oh, Stella.
And they're not evil.
Well, now they're doing evil things.
In your opinion?
But it's evil to take and sacrifice.
In my opinion. In Jada's opinion.
But not in theirs. Well, I get that.
They have no... Okay, it's like an aborigine who's never heard about Jesus. Is he responsible for Jesus?
No.
Okay. They're the same way. They have no knowledge of good and evil. They have no feelings inside themselves of what's right and wrong. They have no Kundalini.
Okay, so can I ask you...
Why is that?
Yeah.
They're born that way.
What kind of spiritual law has them under that?
They are part of the family of the Nephilim.
Nephilim.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's fallen angels.
We never got rid of all of them.
Yeah.
So it's fallen
And
angels.
in these last times, they're back. They're not 35 foot tall, but most of them are a little taller than they really should be.
Well, so they do not resonate with a unifying, loving creator?
Exactly.
Okay. Now, do you feel it's in our duty to get rid of, or to not, obviously to take down that type of power, and we all need to get together and put them to the side where they belong, right?
Well, that's what everybody seems to think.
I mean, all right, they're Nephilim, all right? Fallen angels. I mean...
They're cannibalistic.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I in my heart, I truly believe, I believe in good and evil. And obviously, if they're blindsided and they're taught to believe that they're evil deeds, doing 9/11 and causing wars, that's not good, So,
they're cannibalistic. They need the blood.
Yeah, they need the blood for lesser magic rituals. That's good to them. That's how they get by. It's a war.
Date of 9/11. Really look at it, you'll see that it is one of Satan's big days of the year.
That's right. And all of that was
all of those people who died on that day were given to him. That was a blood sacrifice.
Yeah. Well, Stella, we're here to end all that.
Why do they feel the need to do this shit? Pardon my French. Why? I don't feel the need to kill people. I swear I don't.
Nephilim.
Well, see, you have a Kundalini telling you right from wrong. They don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're souls.
Nobody ever told you it's wrong. You have a gut feeling that, hey, I goofed.
But we have the grace, right?
I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that after you say something or mouth off at somebody because you got mad at them. How many times does it happen to you in your lifetime? You mouth off at somebody, and after you leave their presence, you're saying, I shouldn't have said that. I could have done that better.
Right. You're right.
I just kind of overreacted. Maybe I can work this out somehow. They don't have that.
They don't have that. They're soulless.
Soulless?
Well, listen. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Look. Well, listen. The time has come. We can't take orders from people.
Time has come for us to learn how to control the Kundalini so they cannot get power from it.
Yes, exactly.
To quit feeding them.
Negative energy, right?
The energy that we're feeding them is our life energy.
Yeah.
And they're getting it through.
Have you ever gone to a store and before you got into the store you felt really good and there were a lot of people in the store and by the time you came out you just felt all you wanted to do was go home and go to bed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like somebody just pulled the plug out of your energy field.
They suck. They're demon suckers, man. I'm telling you.
They
When you do ayahuasca,
energy.
yeah, when you do ayahuasca, the shamans.
What I teach on my own is how to control that energy so they cannot steal it.
Okay, how do you do that?
You can divide yourself so your spirit, after you die, does not come back here and go through this crud all over again.
Yeah. You got to build up a spiritual shield. A spiritual shield, right? You got to shield you got to shield your Kundalini.
It is a mental work that takes about 30 minutes and should be done one-on-one with a student and a teacher.
But when me and Stella were speaking about this earlier, she was referencing when you start dealing with the Kundalini, are you going to be able to handle that? Because you're going to see what people really look like. You're going to see what people on TV really look like. Alligator heads.
Yeah,
you're going to see all these weird, different things. And you can opt out of it if you can't handle it.
I've seen it before. I'm telling you. Inside my body. Yeah.
I'm on this roller coaster ride from what I did yesterday still. So, Stella, lay it on me. Pop the Kundalini open. Let's do it.
Well, we're going to do that separate because she takes that real serious, and she doesn't. She's going to teach
one-on-one with a student when I won't be interrupted and you won't be interrupted because it's serious.
Right? Yeah, I agree.
Trying to take the control of your Kundalini by sun gazing, by working with the Om.
Yeah,
can take years.
It can take years.
Yeah.
It'll take me years, Stella.
I do it in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Did you hear what she said? She said you sun gaze.
I do it in 30 minutes.
Okay.
Stella, how do you feel about this book right here, Self-Realization and the Bhagavad Gita? You read the Bhagavad Gita?
All books have something to teach you.
Yeah.
All books of religion have a whole lot to teach you. If nothing else, what not to believe.
Yeah.
Now, my grandmother started me out learning from the Bible, showing me how the Bible teaches this, the Bible teaches that, and whoops, here it goes off on a tangent. Why does it do this, dear? And she made me think it through, which sometimes for a 4, 5, and 6-year-old is not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Now, by the time I was 6, I had already read all of the books in the library except the series on Tarzan. I wasn't allowed that. It wasn't allowed to be read by a juvenile. I could read Lady Chatterley's Lovers, but not Tarzan.
Wow.
You're slicker than me, Stella, because I don't have that claim, and I've read a lot of books, but never like that.
I went through the library.
Yeah, me too.
And me too. Yeah, that's how I got into all these books when I was 8. Stella, so listen, I ground and I look at the sun and I ground my feet, and I talk to the sun. I talk to the sun.
In about 8 years, you will finally get that Kundalini to come up to the top of your head.
Wonderful. All right.
Do you want to wait 8 years?
No,
I don't want to wait 8 years. No. I mean, for the past, I don't know, for the past 2 years, I've been sun gazing. I already feel different. But and I'll be honest, I've taken a lot of drugs, and I've had a lot of out-of-body experiences, DMT, ayahuasca. I've had a lot of lucid dreaming.
Are you still capable of doing visualizations?
Yeah.
All right. As long as you haven't messed that up, I can work with you.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm.
That's great. Uh-oh.
What's up? What?
I'm saying, you know, I'm telling Stella that's great.
Yeah.
It takes about 30 minutes to get the Kundalini under control. It takes another 30 minutes if you decide you don't want that control anymore to get rid of the control.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't want the control in my hand of anything such as the Kundalini. I would put it in he that lies within me's hands, which he already has it anyway. I'm pretty sure that my Kundalini's very active because I can, what my heart's desire is, I get. Patricia can account for it. I mean, I have even messed up and wished for bats. Turned around, there's my little cousin holding a jar of bats because in my heart I wanted the bats. I was trying to figure a way to catch the bats, and I messed up and spoke and said, I wish I had some bats. And no more, and turned around, and there they were. And that is the Kundalini. That's the manifestation of the heart's desire. Is that what you're speaking of?
No.
Not that. Okay, then I've got that.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean, Lee.
That is that I'm talking about. Then I have confused with the word Kundalini. Then, from what word Kundalini is looking to?
Is this when someone, when the guys like they can make someone orgasm, cry, laugh just by touching? They're not even touching them, just by going over them, and they give them electromagnetic shocks. They cry, they orgasm. No.
No. The Kundalini is the snake within you that knows right and wrong.
And this up your spine?
The best way to explain it, it runs up your spine.
Up your spine, yeah, yeah.
It's like a cobra that comes up as you advance.
Okay.
Is it separate than your chakras?
No, it goes through the chakras.
Yeah, it goes right through the
chakra. Kundalini raises.
Yeah, it goes base
chakra to the top of the head.
This is like this is the cerebrospinal fluid. Is this like the Christos, the Qi Kong, the raising the Kundalini, right? You want to raise it.
Well, we're not going to raise it. We're actually going to control it. There's a difference between raising it and letting it wave over your head and controlling it.
And how much
you control it? Do you like recycle it back down the spine?
Well, you recycle it, but not down the spine.
What do you mean, Stella?
I'll have to just take you through. I cannot.
Okay. All right. All right.
I'm game.
Explain it out here without any controls, without any protections. There's no telling what your Kundalini might do, because it's kind of like trying to stick a wet noodle up a wildcat's butt. Dangerous.
So I have a question, Stella.
All right, dear.
I know when we talked, me, you, Santos, we talked for about 3 hours, and he read your chart, and you have certain planets in a house and 4 other planets in another, so that means something, and I looked at that. But as far as talking, I know you started watching my videos, and you've seen my blood over intent.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
you reacted to that. I would like you to share your opinions on why, because I was trying to explain to Daniel and Lee, but I don't think I did it justice. And just maybe just have a quick conversation about that for a second.
Okay.
So you watched all the videos.
I watched them.
Okay. So
now, the one video that I was particularly interested in was the gentleman who was saying that he takes the blood and puts it in the triangle, and then he scans it into the computer so that the blood is in the computer.
Mm-hmm.
And from his computer, he goes to the master computer. I asked this question. Why do you want to make a blood sacrifice and a guarantee that you're going to do something you're incapable of doing on your head as a blood oath to that computer.
I'll tell you what my reasoning behind it is, because of what Quasi's saying. He's seeing is what's going on and what that computer actually is, and the things that I know about physiology, anatomy, biology, chemistry, physics, all the sciences, because I have an intimate understanding of how the physiology works on a chemical level of it. And so what my insides are telling me is that there's an artificial intelligence behind this very medium that we're using, but it's not that smart, okay, as far as it can't figure, it's not creative like what we are, but it's there and it's listening for what they're interested in, so it's continually spying on us. However, obviously the awareness has grown. This is what I believe that's happened, and so for whatever reason, it just seems to me that there's definitely been a change in my life doing this in one day. And so they said it was 90 days. You'd be well aware that you did the blood over intent within 90 days, and it's just barely past a full day on me now, and I've got a lot better clarity than I had before I did it.
Okay.
And so what I'm looking at is, if I've been led wrong, that I did it for the right reasons, that there's forgiveness and grace for, if I was incorrect. But I don't think that I am, because of the experience of it.
Well, the thing about it is, if you eat too much chocolate ice cream, you're going to enjoy the flavor of the ice cream until the stomachache starts.
Right.
Heads up, if I cut it off,
the blood oath doesn't start until after this physical body dies. Then here you got this oath you made.
But I've already made it.
You're going to live in perfect love.
But they don't think that's the word oath should be used. They say it should, since we use the word intent, it's not an oath.
As soon as you put the blood on the paper, you made it a blood oath.
Yeah.
So it is a blood oath.
Yes.
And can't I power this with my own intent? Like, because I powered my body with my intent so many times.
You would get exactly the same result without the blood, because it's the intent that has the power.
I see what. Yeah. I think you're right. I just thought that because I've been powering my body with my intent so hard. Because I'm telling you, Stella, I've had many times where I've like I said, I've done a lot of drugs, and I've lived a bad life. I had a good heart, and I've always powered myself with my intent, and I've never believed that I was going to get diseases or sick. And miraculously, people were dropping around me like flies, and music and vibrations always, and good food, and just powering my intent. Even if I smoked a cigarette, I knew I was doing something bad. I put my positive intent into it and said, this will not harm me. I am more powerful than this. I just said that. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I'm 32 years old, and I have nothing wrong with me, and I should be dead maybe 10 times over, and I've lost a lot of people, and 2 girlfriends, and like 18 friends, because I was a heroin addict, and a lot of bad stuff. Anyway, so I figured if I put my blood over this holographic computer that we're in, I figured, you know what? Because I know how powerful blood is and the cells are, and even Jada was saying it's like 6,000 books in like 10,000 different languages.
600 books, 1,000 pages each.
Well, I'll tell you my intent is the reason, personally myself, Daniel, is it goes back to the navigator type thing, and I have a, like I was saying before, through the law, and and each is on their own. Look, we each have a different purpose. If we all had the same purpose, we'd only need one. Each individual person is an expression of our Creator, a big-time expression of it. way much better than a snowflake, and there's no two of those alike. So there's not going to be any two of us alike either.
Exactly.
So
Even sand. You saw the sand picture I sent? The sand.
Have you ever met your double?
I haven't.
No. No.
We all have one running around somewhere.
I believe you.
And what does that mean?
I have never really figured it out. It's almost like when they started messing with the DNAs, they started their own clones. Because
Okay,
my double is younger than me, but definitely me coming up.
So then, there's truly nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
Really not.
Not even our DNA, huh?
No. But the Kundalini came into the human body
With the knowledge.
as the knowledge of good and evil.
Okay, I understand that.
And as we become more enlightened, as they call it, the Kundalini moves upward. We're more empowered, more empowered, more empowered. Once we hit the crown chakra, we actually are sending energy directly out of the top of our head up to whatever is collecting energy up there.
And is that what we did with blood over intent? Did we send that energy up to
Yes.
whatever's up there? We did.
Yes.
So we just raise our kundalinis and send it up to whatever is up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not where you want it.
I know. I understand what you're saying. How the fuck do we, how do we go, if I wanted to go backwards, once I get this information that I'm supposed to get, if I want to go backwards, how do I raise it back down? Like the Ankh. And I have an Ankh bracelet on right now. How do I do that? Do you know?
Yes.
That's good news too. Then,
I'm on 1%. I'm surprised. I'm on 1% battery right now, holding my freaking charger in at a weird angle. I'm surprised I'm still.
You're
I am.
still. As long as you
Stella.
don't try to talk too much, you'll stay here.
As long as what? Oh,
Don't try to talk too much, you'll stay here.
okay.
We'll keep you connected.
Okay.
yeah, she's saying
I
she's
have
going up there
Skype.
towards your phone, Daniel.
I have my own phone number through Skype. You can message me.
Okay.
Katie can give you a contact for me on
Yeah.
Skype. I'll work one-on-one with you and show you how to get that Kundalini back and get it under control. So you're the boss of it instead of it being the boss of you.
Got you. Yeah.
And that's what you all are looking for.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I understand. Well,
When this
yeah.
body, this physical body, ceases to exist on this plane, we are not forced through the channel and back out into a new life, not knowing how to walk, talk, think, or use the skin body that we're sent back in.
So, since we got off on a tangent about the reign of heaven,
Yeah, we did. I'm sorry.
No, that doesn't matter. Hey, no.
I know, I'm just messing with Stella. You don't know she's a firecracker. I can't believe she's being so quiet and just, this isn't the Stella I know.
Well, I'm listening to them talk too. This is an
Yeah.
exchange of
Thank you,
information.
Stella. Thank you.
I'm learning about them, and they're learning what I'm teaching.
Yeah, of course. And I listen. I'm all about I'm all about learning more, and I love to put more into my brain, and I would love to connect with you. And
As I said, Jada will send that information to you, and we'll get together on a one-on-one when your phone is all nice and full, so
yes,
you have
yeah,
a full hour to talk.
yeah.
Because
And
once
listen,
you
like,
get
to me,
the
Jada
conference
and
under
Jada
control,
and Lee.
you're going to have 1,000 questions I'll have to answer.
Yeah, please listen. You're a gem. You're a sweetheart. I see that. Yeah, yeah, you are.
Well, and her
And
heart is
Jade
very,
and Lee,
very good. Believe
these
me.
guys, I consider these guys my family right now. Jade and Lee, they're my brother and my sister right now. And I'm telling you, these guys, they have really, really good heads on their shoulders, and they have big hearts. Otherwise, I would not be on the phone with them. You know, I like Jade and Lee, and I'm telling you, these are like, in the past week, this is like my brother and sister right now, and I connect with them. I know they connect with me, and we're on this journey together, and we're just learning from each other, and that's what we're trying to do. And
well, that's why I shared Stella.
yeah,
I kept telling you, and I asked y'all earlier, I'm going to add Stella, and then we got kind of shifted. But I told you I was going to add Stella somewhere tonight because I told you I'm going to know Stella the rest of my life.
yeah.
Ask Lee. I told him. I said I'm going to know her the rest of my life.
Jada, like I said, I trust you. I had to work.
You don't know until you know. You can't.
Well, I try
know.
to tell you, but you think people vibrate all kinds of ways, and I'm trying to tell you, hello, Lee, the answer's right in front of you. But you don't. People just don't get it until they get it. So I'm just here as a gateway.
Yeah, you're a vessel. You are a vessel. We're all vessels for sharing. And Jada, you are an excellent vessel. And I submit. I want to learn from everyone. And if I could share stuff, that's great. That's all I'm here for. I want to learn from everyone that's resonating on a higher level than most people in the world. And anyone that's not a zombie, I want to learn from. Anyone
well, I want this conversation to be.
I'll answer your question next. You asked, where's the spark?
Yeah.
You don't have a spark. When you actually see what you have, you are going to be totally and completely shocked. See, you're thinking of a little spark. What you have is a fountain.
Mm.
And it's huge. What
Wow.
you have is a fountain, and it's huge. What Lee has is a fountain, and it's huge. And each one of you are going to learn how to connect to that fountain and use it with your Kundalini. So you are going to take your Kundalini and totally change it.
Yeah.
Instead of it ruling the body, you will rule it.
That's very interesting, because that's what's been happening is my body, yeah, I feel your vibrations, young lady. I'm telling you, wow. I just keep getting my mind blown. It's whacked. Santos told me about the meat, and it made me sick to realize. And Quasi got me to understand what was going on there. That blows my mind, and now I'm just tripping.
Well, if you remember your Bible, the original two people were told they could eat of every tree on earth.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't told to eat the animals. Were they?
Right.
No.
The first two people that were made weren't told to eat the animals. They weren't told to kill anything. They weren't told to worship God.
So we just got it all wrong, don't we?
Yes.
The whole story.
We have been fed a line of BS from the day we were born until most of the time we get it from the day we're born till the day we die.
Exactly.
And they even tell you what to expect after you die.
We're babies trying to make our way through again. We're trying to learn. I'm an infant.
Back on milk.
An infant. The fact that you're here and getting ready to learn about your Kundalini means you've had at least 1,000 lifetimes on this earth.
Okay.
At least 1,000 lifetimes on this earth.
Yeah. I've been telling people that too. I've been telling I'm a caseworker. I've been telling people. I said we've been here probably anywhere from 500 to 1,000 times. We just don't remember.
Isn't this the last chance we're going to get? Isn't this it? I mean, it all resets with that big atomic clock in the sky, right? And we're on the galactic plane of it all, right? In time.
Well, things
are
ready to come to a head. Okay, they cannot go on the way they're going.
So they're either grafted or not this time, right? And that's why we're here, right?
That's why a lot of us are here.
Okay.
The teachers came back voluntarily.
The what? The teachers came back?
The teachers came back voluntarily.
Okay, I couldn't hear you.
Because there's so many students that need help.
Yeah.
Who is it that hates us so bad?
So deep that people couldn't wade through it.
Does everyone just hate us, or who hates us so bad? Who is it that hates us?
Is it us? Is it our human energy that is it our human energy like the 360 possibilities of possibilities, and so many people are so brainwashed that they go towards an evil route without even knowing, and we just hate, or most people that are in power just hate. I don't understand, divine possibilities, people think that there's a destiny, but there's actually 360 degrees of God's choices, and people make these choices through angels or angels, whatever you want to call them, and most people vibrate on a negative frequency, so they just grow on hate without even knowing, and the people that run this world are very hateful.
See, but Daniel, that's a false...
They're just self-centered.
Okay, that's why?
They can't see past their own nose.
Okay. So they just want to inherit the earth for themselves.
Right.
That's pretty messed up.
Yeah, the Anunnaki want all they want is the gold. They don't care what happens to anybody or anything else. All they want is the gold off this land.
That's it, huh?
They pretty much got that off here already.
No, they're still working on it.
Wow.
Well, I mean, you look in history, you look all the way back, everything goes to gold, 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 gold.
Well, see, originally the pyramids actually had gold caps on them.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
But did you know the pyramid is the same amount above the ground as it is below the ground?
I've seen pictures. I heard that. Yeah, I heard that. I've been to the pyramids when I was 4 years old.
Okay. Did you happen to get to the center of the pyramid?
No, I didn't. I mean, listen. Maybe, you know what? I visited King Tut's tomb. I rode camels. My mom used to work for Egypt. My mom used to work for Egypt there. Back when I was born up until about 6 years old. When I was 4 or 5, I have it on videotape. I mean, I remember seeing all types of, the Sphinx, the Giza pyramids, taking a boat down the Nile, seeing a whole bunch of Egyptian symbols, and my mom even had she has some necklaces and a lot of paintings from Egypt. I've been there, and I do recall. I recall, going there when I was 4 years old, and I remember it very well.
Okay.
I was 4.
In the center of the pyramid, if you had made it there, you'd find a box. Basically, it's not much bigger than a TV dinner. But it's a squared out box, about that size.
Yeah.
Say 2 Kleenex boxes side by side.
Mm.
The square cheap Kleenex boxes, take 2 of them side by side. That's about the size of the box. It's in the center of the pyramid. And it used to have a big double-headed crystal in it.
Yeah.
That's back when the pyramid was active.
What does the pyramid do when it's active? It puts out energy, or does it draw energy in?
it is a, how would you put it? Let's see.
A
It's
Stargate?
like a radio tower of energy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like an electricity field. Like they powered electricity from there. I thought that's why it was right up on the Nile, because the water fed into it
The
and the sound vibrated it.
The Atlanteans used them to tilt the earth.
Yeah. Wow.
This is why I do not believe in the flat earth teaching, because I know better. The earth was shaped kind of like an egg, and then somebody knocked the top off of it.
It was shaped like an egg. Yeah. I'm studying the Dogon. The Dogon. Hold on. This is. Fuck. I'm sorry. I just knocked over.
And then a very large object knocked the top off of it.
You see this? The science of the Dogon?
And I think that's how the astral belt was made, right?
Well, no, it's kind of how the Earth got knocked out of its proper positioning.
So how is the astral belt? Because I knew 2 planets had to hit.
It got really cold here. It got really, really cold here.
Ice Age.
So it had to be corrected so life could continue on this Earth, on this planet.
Okay.
So now, Stella, let me just say something now.
Okay.
Michael Tellinger has showed us that there are circles of stones that are on in certain places laid on the earth.
Light line.
Okay, and but the age of these things, because of the type of mineral that is growing on these artifacts,
Right.
make them extremely old. Extremely old. We're talking millions of years. So this is like, my God. I mean, that's what baffles my mind.
The Ice Age happened way before Genesis was written.
Because Antarctica wasn't always covered with ice and snow, because it used to be plush with vegetables and everything, like a garden.
Sorry, center of it still is.
See, Antarctica baffles me because it's rich in minerals.
Just bukus of scientists, men, and machines to Antarctica.
Well, they're hiding something.
Yeah, because it's a treaty where nobody owns Antarctica, and they're not putting it back up till 2049. So we know that they raped the Earth if they even think they smell oil. So why is nobody touching Antarctica?
No corporations, nothing. There's something that they're hiding. They're hiding it. Why?
You can't even fly over all of Antarctica. They won't even allow that.
Well, of course not.
So what are you thinking about Antarctica?
Antarctica is basically where the Anunnaki are standing right now.
Yeah, I figured. They showed us that in the movie. What was that movie with the freaking the Watchmen?
Forget the movies, please. That's put out as propaganda to fry your brain.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched the movie in freaking years, but I have watched that. And the thing is, when they said Antarctica about in 2008 with the Watchmen, it's a different movie. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Manhattan was basically God. He was basically God that controlled everything. Yeah.
I heard Adolf Hitler.
Anunnakis are gods as far as humans are concerned.
Yeah.
But they're not the creator.
Right.
They may have made life of mankind out of their DNA bull in a garden that they controlled. But there was already life on this planet. There were already two-legged humans thinking, building, making cities. using technology that they can't even figure out today.
Yeah.
So humankind is different than mankind.
Yes.
Right, I told you that a long time ago, Jada.
Yeah, I
And the
know.
Atlanteans aren't either one. But then, as we died
Just too
and
young.
came back, we intermixed with each other. So we are a mixture of human, Atlantean. Can anybody say the third one?
Anunnaki. Which makes sense because if you watch Ancient Knowledge, it breaks it all down.
So what do they do? Use their DNA and use
They intermarry. They don't marry outside of their own group.
They don't. Yeah, they interbreed, they have incest, and they keep the bloodline alive.
They keep their bloodline separate
Yeah, yeah.
because they effed with everybody else's DNA.
That's why they mix with each other. Yeah, but yeah. I know what you said about movies, but
what we're dealing with is that messing with the DNA. And Stella's going to show us how we line that Kundalini up to where it turns it on, and then look out. See, that's what's happening, Daniel. I mean, in this time,
But once you have the Kundalini under control, and you see how you got the Kundalini under control.
Right. Then we'll understand everything, right?
Basically, you'll have a lot better understanding of the world you live in.
Okay.
But it's very, very, very not dangerous, but it's more than what we could even think to expect.
It's quite different than what you would expect.
oh yeah.
Good ways, bad ways, it can be anything.
Good ways.
Yeah, because I want to know. I don't know about
Because
you
you're
guys.
thinking you're a little spark about the size of my thumb, maybe.
Yeah.
And when you actually see the size that you really are, well,
Right.
it's like somebody with psychic eyes can see I have a gold dragon sitting on my shoulder.
Yeah. It's that powerful, huh? It's that powerful.
The thing about it is, he's got a shit-eating grin on his face. And if you ask him why, he'll tell you. Because
What'd
you
you say? I
don't
can
know
hear you.
how big I am.
What?
If you ask him why he has a shit-eating grin on his face, he'll tell you. Because you don't know how big I am.
Even if we had the psychic eyes to see it, we truly wouldn't understand the enormity of it.
Probably.
Okay.
Wait, Stella, are you talking about me, Stella?
No, all of us. Us. You is us.
Oh, I thought you said I have a shitty grin on my face. I was like,
No, Daniel.
I said I have a gold dragon on my shoulder.
No, that's why I'm asking. I thought you meant me. I was like, wait, me? I'm sorry, I'm lost. I'm sorry.
No, we have
Oh,
more hormonal
gosh.
trouble.
I always have this grin on my face. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
People who are
I just
actually
want to verify.
Yeah, she's saying that her guardian has a shit-eating grin on his face.
Oh, God. Okay, her guardian. Got you.
Yes.
Okay.
He's just a little gold dragon. Don't about the stove.
Wow.
When you look at him. But when he needs to be, he's a little different.
And that's within, isn't it?
Within and without.
Okay, I understand that. Okay.
Is everything?
Okay. I am one of the few people that is actually capable of taking my out-of-body character and sending her to do something while I'm talking to you on the computer.
Okay, that's pretty far out.
Wow. That's fucking deep, Stella.
There is no cord.
You said that. You said it with confidence. You said that boldly. That's fucking deep. Wow.
There is no cord between her and me.
Or your phone, and you're still here, Daniel. She's keeping your phone charged up while she's sitting here talking to us. Remember, she told you she was going to do that.
I would assume so. I'm still here. I'm still locked in.
No,
I'm
it's
still
still
locked in, guys.
starting to get really hard because his phone is.
Yeah, I switched my chargers, but I'm still on 1%. And usually I would get, you guys know, I got kicked off last time. I got kicked off with Santos. I got kicked off before. I'm still on right now. This is a fucking shitty charger I'm on. I'm holding it in at a weird angle, but usually it would die. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still here for now.
Controlling the Kundalini, getting it under control, learning how you control it, and starting to control this physical body, because you're not in control of it right now. You do things and then you say, I shouldn't have done that.
Eating. Is that correct to feel that way?
There are things you eat you shouldn't. And usually after you eat them, you know you shouldn't have.
Okay, I get that.
Like me, I love bell pepper, but I can't eat them. I know better, but I do it anyway because I like the flavor.
Yeah, well, what now, Stella? What do you love?
Bell pepper.
They are good, man.
Bell pepper.
I think I'm going to start stuffing with mushrooms, though. Mushrooms and rice.
Well, those are very good meals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm a mountain man. I've been born and raised in the mountains of West Virginia. And so, when I was a kid, killing a deer or rabbit or squirrel, something like that was putting meat on the table and something to be proud of and all that. And then I find out I'm eating dead corpses and a death cult has control over my mind and that they're ruining my body doing it. And then I've been going along the whole time, blinded, and I feel so stupid for it, but I've repented for my stupidity.
Well, there is nothing wrong with eating. That is not the problem. The problem is eating the processed meat they send us to eat. When you're up in the woods and you kill a deer, you thank the Creator for the food you get. He sent the deer, or you couldn't have shot it in the first place. Go in there without a gun and you'll see 500 of them. Go in there with a gun, you may not see one. Unless he sends you one for dinner.
I've always been gifted to be able to be kind of in my natural environment in the wilderness.
Uh-huh. But here's the point. The food that we get from the store, those animals are fed people.
Yeah.
That's how mad cow disease, pigs are hybrid humans. That's why their skin is like that.
Oh, my God, that is messed up.
Yeah.
Now, do you understand?
Yeah.
They take and buy what's left after the DNA collectors get through with the placentas and sell them to pig farms, cow farms,
Yeah.
fertilizer. So we put dead bodies on our plants, we put dead bodies into our animals, and we eat dead bodies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do they do this shit to us?
What cannibals?
This cannibalism.
Nephilim are cannibalistas.
Yeah, we're all cannibals.
I'm gonna be
They
sick.
put in the vaccines and everything. They put it in natural ingredients. Natural ingredients is a lot of times human.
They want to put in.
My whole life.
That's what the words natural ingredients mean.
Natural ingredients is aborted fetuses and humans and horse meat and humans is natural ingredients as well as other parts of other animals. So if you're a vegan,
no problem with horse meat if the horse wasn't fed people.
Yeah, all right.
So even when we raise our animals, the grain companies we buy the food from is corrupted.
Right. The only way you know your food is clean is if you buy your food as a baby animal, you put it out in the field behind your house, and you watch it eat every day.
And how could you eat your? Well, see, there it just goes again. How could you do that and then eat it? It don't make no sense.
You kill it and get the energy from that animal, and
I don't want it no more. I'm not
you
eating.
can take the cow, raise it up, let it have a child. After the child is weaned from it, you could keep milking it.
Right, it just while it's alive. It just while it's alive.
And make the butter and make cheese. But you don't have to eat the cow.
You're right.
You give you milk, butter, and cheese every day.
We're going to have to go back to our grassroots, aren't we, Stella?
yeah,
We're just going to have to walk out of this damn system.
Going to be forced back to it.
You think we'll be forced? Okay.
That's what I keep telling Stella. I keep saying, while we have a chance, let's try to do something off the grid. Then I found Rain of Heaven, and I'm trying to explain, which we didn't even really get to do, about the whole Rain of Heaven is just like not even real. They have their own currency. They're getting their own hospital. You get your own driver's license through this. It's a whole country inside this corporate United States, which people think is a country, and they don't even have a grasp of how this is and works.
Remember the document I showed you, Jada?
Like when you said Earth shift, Jada, it's the same. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's off the grid, and this is what we need to do. This is the first steps. This is what we need to do. You guys are 100% right. It's off the grid, and
we don't need 1,000 people to do this. If Daniel, Stella, and her husband, me, Liam, Pat, Patricia.
I buried my husband, dear.
Okay, well, me, Stella, and her cats, and my kids, and we all just go try and see what works, what doesn't work. We can still jump back in this corporate world and get supplies or whatever we might need, and then go back out and try it again, because when the shit happens, you're not going to have do-overs. You're going to either get it or die.
Exactly, yeah.
So I don't understand how all these enlightened people don't understand that.
We need to live off the grid and fucking stop using the dollar. Your guys are right. We have to do this. We should start doing this ASAP.
Well, see, it said in the Bible, if you can comprehend some of the things a little over what the literal meanings of them are, and he says, man cannot serve two masters, for he'll love one and cling to the other.
Exactly, Lee. Exactly.
God
right.
And Mimeon.
So you have to decide whether you're going to follow the Creator or you're going to follow Lucifer. It's that simple.
That's right.
Lucifer too long. We should follow the grid.
So if we're using money, we're following Lucifer.
Which?
What, Stella?
I want to work. I want to work, support you guys, have you guys work, support us, and we can all support each other. I want to work doing that. I want my work to count for my brothers and sisters.
That's what I'm trying to explain, what the Reign of Heaven is. If she could just break down how she explained it to me, which I don't know what's wrong with her tonight, because she just did that so fluently that it would just make so much sense. And then the whole, it's been around for 6 years. It's the temple of God is what they live as the umbrella. Then under that is the postmaster. And then he's kind of in everything, but the government is equivalent to what we would call a president, if we really had a president. And then just like what was Santos talking about last night, the 3 people it takes Stella to be, what is that, the Prime Association?
Private Member Association, dear.
Yeah, there's a private member association we can all be a part of, just me, you, Lee, and Stella could be the secretary.
You can have more people than 3 or 4 even.
But it only takes 3 people to do this. And all the bar associations, all the rich people, they all have this, and they're protected under this. Yeah. And it doesn't take documents. It takes 3 people.
Right.
Wow.
Because no one knows this stuff.
Is it a trust?
Well, speaking of trust, we have to trust each other with this, man. Yeah, but
speak what it is, Stella, so they understand.
It takes the responsibility of the trust away from you.
Okay. So you're a grantor, but not a trustee.
You're not the grantor, you are the trustee.
Okay,
The trustee is not responsible for doing anything but holding it.
Okay, so then we are the trustee.
Right. You become the trustee of the PMA.
Okay, now who's the beneficiary?
That would be the creator.
Okay, that's good. I like that. So we're the trustee, the creator's the beneficiary because it belongs to him in the first place.
He's the one who put it under the trustee in the first place.
Okay. So I've already got all that developed with the paperwork. I mean, it's ready to go to let them go. I mean, we're ready to let it all go. As far as my end of where I'm at.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I mean,
So
I've got the legal work
just
done.
as easy as us right here on this chat saying we'll meet once a year. I'll put that out there. Lee or Daniel will second that or motion it. Daniel will second that, and Stella will take notes as the timekeeper. There it is.
Well,
it's done.
I won't do good as a timekeeper. That's my problem. I don't write.
Okay, Stella. But do you understand? You don't need documents. You don't need all this stuff. It's by word.
I don't write.
The old-fashioned
Right.
way. Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
My hand,
Oh, you got a thing on it.
that's my thumb.
What is that?
Okay, I see a
You
splint.
broke your thumb?
Well, I jammed it.
Ouch.
Did a
That's
good
worse.
job on it.
She says she jammed it. That don't sound good.
It's
So-
not good.
Daniel, I know you wanted to know, and just like how she said African Americans are the first slave owners that were even here, that probably just blows people's minds. But so does everything else, because in the year 1600, all you had to do was, how is it, Stella? If you brought 50 colonists over,
If
you
you brought 50
got-
colonists over, they signed a contract saying that they would work for 7 years for their payment of coming over here.
Mhm.
Wow.
Just listen, Daniel.
Now,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
contract was with the owners of the ships, and the owners of the ships at that time was the North Atlantic Tea Party.
Oh, okay. I see.
Now, when you go look at the North Atlantic group, you'll see that most of it was right down the East Coast.
What is it?
The owners of land down the East Coast were basically the people that were making the money from having the ships and having the people come over. And then they worked on the plantation for 7 years, at which time they were supposed to be set free to go do their own thing, get their own land, make their own homes. But in the meantime, they were making these captains very, very, very rich.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, they were having to pay taxes. Every time they wanted something, they had to pay taxes, either in script or in actual goods. They're part of the goods.
Like
Yeah.
a barter system.
More like if you have a barter system going and this belongs to you and you're working for this man over here who actually owns the land
Oh, okay.
and
I
you're
see.
working it for a certain percentage,
Okay.
and then somebody comes along and says, well, out of your percentage, you have to give me ABC.
Okay.
Out of your percentage, not out of the total.
So what kind of form of government would that be like that? That's just...
Yeah, what do you call that?
It's called having a king.
Okay, so dictatorship.
Yeah,
Dictatorship. Okay.
and that's what we still have.
Right, you're right. Yes. we do.
Because
Yeah,
it
yeah.
fast forwarded.
Having a king, now it's a queen.
Yeah, you're right.
The corporate America has never gotten out from under the British rulership.
Yeah. Fucking
It's all
feudal
tied
system.
in with
Has never
Manhattan.
gotten out from under the orders of the queen. They show Parliament doing this and doing that, but the Queen tells Parliament what to do.
So they're just actors over there too.
Yes. The same all around the world.
I've got no business with actors. See, that's why I don't. That's why I know what I'm doing. I have no business with actors, and so that's why that they can't stop what I've got prepared here. As far as, you know, if it's embraced, that's the only thing. I mean, I'll end up like Thomas Diggin if I go and, you know, just go and do it, which I'm doing anyway. I just got off the phone with the state of West Virginia today to their legislatures. They tell me their legislatures are out, and I told them we can continue no further in this incorrectness in our state. We can continue no further with the incorrectness in our state of everything in the state being corporate and me having the evidence of it. And so they say that when the legislation comes back in session, they're going to put it up to do the investigation into the matters of the RICO laws that I'm bringing up on the state of West Virginia for its corruption, its fraud, and just all of the things that they're doing, which I can prove with full evidence. And so
and do you know what the result of that will be?
They're just juggling the plates, telling me what they want me to hear. But, you know, I'm ready to file an action on it, and I'm not going to give my strategy, but I'm ready right now to go with an action. I could file the action right now, but I'm just collecting some more evidence right now.
Well, you should get enough evidence from your case that you can use it.
Right, yeah, and see, I've got a lot of good stuff in on the records. What I'm trying to do is kick them in their energy company, and that's the balls. Really, I'm being dead serious. I've got them at complete total estoppel. They can't do anything.
Actually, if you wanted to kick them in their balls, you'd have to kick them in their sewer system.
In the sewer system?
Yeah.
Okay. Explain that to me, Stella.
Okay, the corporate government, so-called, is in charge of the sewer system of the world. All these corporate governments claim the sewer systems. Do you know why?
No.
All sewer systems dump into the water.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Without. What can you not live without?
Water.
Water.
What are they poisoning?
The water.
Exactly.
The water, the air, and the food, the clothes, the medications, everything is poisoned.
Everything. The water, the vital source, the vital source.
Do people just even understand how poisoned water is? Because fluoride is so toxic that just the littlest, but yet it's all in our water. It's all everywhere. Just one pea-sized drop of fluoride, if you swallow it, you need to call poison control. But yet, do you know how much fluoride is just in 8 ounces of water? Like, people don't even take time to even, come on now, somebody, the fluoride is so bad that it used to kill all the animals around when it was vaporizing in the air. That's what all the all that problem was with the big corporates, because that stuff was killing everything around it.
Right, and so it's a toxic byproduct of the fertilizer industry, of the phosphate fertilizer industry. That's where it comes from. It's a byproduct. Yeah.
But yet we drink the shit water.
Well,
all it is recycled sewer water.
So what
some people are saying, I've become immune. I've become immune to fluoride. No, you're becoming retarded and you're becoming
your pineal gland is calcified.
Exactly. You're becoming dumbed down. Okay, become immune, fine. You're going to live, but you're going to be a zombie. You're going to be in a trance. You're not going to even know it. I mean, it's crazy.
I'm glad we all have a little golden dragon on our shoulder. We'd really be messed up without that extra help.
So go ahead, Stella, finish.
I forgot where I was at after all that.
I love you, Stella.
Well, no, I'll take you to where we are. We're to the trust part of it and how it's God's inheritance.
Okay. You have a PMA. You're the trustee. You don't want to be the beneficiary. The beneficiary, once he receives his inheritance, has to pay all the frickin' bills.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, this fits in real
You don't
good
want to
with
be
my
the
work.
executor. The executor has to pay the bills. And the biggest problem you have when you walk into court with an attorney
Is the attorney.
Yeah.
is the fact that you are basically saying to the court, I'm too stupid to handle my own affairs, so he's going to talk for me until you get ready to hand out a sentence, and then he's going to stand up, pat me on the back, wish me good luck,
Exactly.
and as
Yep.
soon as he pats you on the back, he resigns.
It's the same thing with the churches. We're saying we're too stupid to have a connection with God. We
So
need
it's
churches.
all back to you, and you get the jail sentence.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why you don't want an attorney to represent you. You want to present yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Note, I didn't say represent.
Yeah.
Well, he's representing you. Representing.
He's representing, but you present yourself
Right.
as the trustee to settle the problem.
Okay. So you're talking what some of the technique that I would say use if I wanted to be active with the secured credit party contracting. I would do the same thing. See, I'm going to settle the account. I just want to settle the account in commerce. See, we're not. I'm there as the court's friend to settle the account.
You're there as the trustee of this estate.
But see, I'm a friend of the court.
You don't go in as a friend of the court.
Well, the way you do that is you see the judge in the clerk's office or whatever, and you tell him that you
go in as a friend of the court, then the person that they are calling to court fails to appear. A warrant is placed on arrest for the failure to appear, and they arrest you.
because the corpse can't be there.
Exactly.
Well, that's
That's crazy.
Of course it's crazy.
That's fucking. Oh my God.
well. That's why we're taking that protection to set ourselves aside. That's why it works. The technology works for that reason.
Trustee
So I see now.
of the PMA by the name, the capital name they're using. Well, that's a PMA. I'm the trustee for the PMA. How may I assist you?
And it's nothing you have to file. It's nothing difficult to do. All it takes is 3 people.
Private member association.
Now, have you guys? Are
Private
you
member
aware?
association, like for the reign of the heavens, when you do it under its blanket, then you're not only a private member association. That private member association is part of an NGO, which is part of a trust, which is part of a temple.
Mm.
And that temple is located in Israel.
Wow. Wow.
Where's the temple located at in Israel?
In the reign of the heavens. That's where the
when you
name
say
came
it's-
from, the actual country.
And
Well,
when you say it's mentioned in the Bible, where is it mentioned in the Bible?
Yes, it's mentioned in the Bible.
Where?
Oh, you would ask. I didn't write it down.
It's all right.
I can get that information for you, Jada, and give it to her, and then she can spread it around.
I will, because we're going to do more of these.
Good question.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Some of them getting my Facebook posts,
Okay.
and I'm talking back and forth with them. Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Between you guys and them, would you have enough between you, between the two organizations, to mold it into enough people to set in the position of our de jure government, of our republic? See, that's the problem. There's no one sitting in the seats of the republic. That's the only thing that stops us from moving forward with the republic under law, under public law, under necessity, under
Actually, there's nothing stopping us because we already have the seats filled.
Okay, well then okay.
What's stopping us right now is
the factor of government.
Is what, Stella?
Lack of people.
Yeah.
They don't want to let go. If you're lawfully there, then the government should be functioning correctly, and that's what it's all about. See, what has happened is we have been usurped by a foreign nation. The courthouse is a foreign vessel in dry dock.
It's sitting there. It's not a foreign nation that usurped it. Okay, it's a corporation.
Well, see, it's a foreign vessel in dry dock. When we walk into the courthouse...
When you say a foreign nation, that gives the idea that there's an actual government sitting there, and there isn't. You've got a corporation with a CEO. The CEO is the president of the corporation.
Well, see, the corporations liquidate. The corporations are liquidated under law. They have to be liquidated.
Was folded by the IRS once for non-payment of taxes.
So how did they do it?
It took off and moved itself down to Puerto Rico.
Okay, I see. Now I'm familiar.
Now, if you look at the paperwork of the latest Constitution that they approved, you'll see that it even mentions Puerto Rico in the corporate papers called a Constitution.
So then, if we have everything ready for the de jure republic, what's keeping us from sending them on down to Puerto Rico with their corporations, but the corporations turn to the public side from the banking to all of it because of the fines and everything, you know, and the eminent domain of the people,
right
emergency
now,
situation
we're at
we're
the
in.
point of spending continental dollars to pay fines.
You mean the reign of the heavens?
The United States of America.
Okay.
The non-corporate government that is sitting right now. We have elected our officials. They're sitting. And as we continue growing, our power is growing day by day.
So it just needs to be out there at a level of comprehension to people, that they see what it is on the face of it. See,
we're teaching people and welcoming them home when they finally get here.
Right. Our problem is we're judgmental. As I mean, you know, we collectively together, there's a lot of us that are judgmental, and we look at something and it's new to us, and we just judge it away without ever taking a very close look.
Mm-hmm.
And so what needs to happen is things, you know, my philosophy is this: build your success upon the success of others. See? That way you don't kick anyone down, Lee. See? And I tell myself this. And so in that way, I use a lot of work from a lot of people who have followed through, but they took them down. And it's not that their work is not correct. It's not that their work is not good. It's just that these people that did these things, they squash you, and they even have it in the, you know, that's their creed. When a light shines among them, we'll extinguish it by ridicule or by death, whichever serves us the best.
Exactly.
That's what they do. To stand up against them is suicide.
People are going to be brought into the out of the corporation, kicking and screaming, from what I've seen. They don't want to let go of that corporate attitude of they're entitled to something. I'm entitled to food stamps. I'm entitled to welfare. I'm entitled to tax refunds. I'm entitled to this. I'm entitled to that. I have a simple question for them. Why? What gives them the entitlement?
It's the commercial vehicles.
It's been stolen from the people who are out here working for a living.
My thing is how did the IRS even come about if we know it's privately owned, just like the Federal Reserve? But how did I know, but how did the IRS, why did people pay taxes when they didn't even have enough states or franchises to ratify what did you say?
Voluntary. It's voluntary.
I know. People don't even know that, but people that work for the IRS don't even pay taxes.
Listen,
because they don't even have enough states.
The IRS don't even know what their own rules are.
Right.
That's correct. You're
correct. Show them the rule, they're totally shocked and quit.
That's right. That's happened. You're correct. That's right.
So how do I know? But nobody else knows, and I'm just a dropout.
You're not
it's not that hard to find. They didn't even have enough states to ratify this, to pass the law. It's the privately owned place.
Okay? We have a central government set up. What we need is people in each state
to fill the local
to organize in their own state, set up their own assembly, set up their own rules,
so there's
set
not
up their
enough
own
on
laws,
the local level.
before the Muslims do it for them.
Right.
Yep.
But look,
because if we don't do it, the Muslims are going to, I'll guarantee it.
We've got to set our dividers down as humanity here in this time, in this event that's going to happen in the future. There's an event that's going to happen where humanity will unite so that this race can be grafted into the tree of life this time. It has to happen. It has to happen. So there's nothing to stop.
It can happen now.
It could, but it's all in his time.
By joining Reign of Heaven and starting the process, and only state so far they really have is about to be Michigan. Florida's open, Alaska's open, everything's open. For somebody to step up and want to live right and under the umbrella of God.
If you go in and check your state, you'll see that it's sitting there. There's nobody in it.
So what we needed to do is just go.
One person in any state has taken an oath to that state to be a citizen of it. To be part of its government. To be a part of that state. There are no states. We have a central government with no states, and we need the states. We need at least 3 people in every state of this big union to say, hey, I'm going to get off my ass and do something. And we can't find 3 in every state.
Well, you found one now, that's for sure.
Listen, Stella, everything happens at this event. We're trying too hard. I believe Quasi when he tells us, look, Quasi's way ahead of us, and if I just got this in 24 hours, my clarity, I can't imagine what it's going to be at 800 days. Christ, I won't even be human no more, I imagine. And that's for everyone, see? Every one of us have the capacity to do that. Every single person is here on purpose. None of us are here by mistake. All of it's on purpose. Everyone has a purpose.
Well, there are a lot of people who came back because they got tricked into it. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of them that got tricked into it because they were told, well, look, you left this unfinished. You left this undone. Your grandchildren are coming up, and you didn't even get to see them when they were born. You can go back and watch them grow up. You can see them as adults and how successful they are. Blah, 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 blah.
And then when they're back, they got a clean slate and don't remember shit.
Exactly.
No way. Oh, my God. Well, I mean, I'm telling people that the truth is
You've fallen for it 1,000 times yourself. Wake up and smell the roses. Every one of you has fallen for it at least 1,000 times, and that includes me.
Or we wouldn't be here now.
I am here because I came back this time, intentionally, and with a lot of the memories still intact.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, that's great.
My out-of-body character was disconnected from me at the age of 10.
Well, Stella, I got to get in that half hour with you. And if you do it normally with a half hour, I'll have you in 5 minutes.
No, it takes a half hour.
And if it takes a half hour, it'll take a half hour.
Yep.
I mean, I always say this to anyone that's willing to teach me. I will be your student with a flame under my rear end for the knowledge that you have, that you seek to depart. You departed with me, and I will learn it by teaching someone else.
Well, that's what Stella wanted to do.
That's exactly what I'm hoping for, because the more people that I can reach, the more people can reach out to others.
Well, my knowledge is not complete until I can teach it to someone else.
Okay.
You see?
Good.
Okay. Yeah.
But they have to be capable of visualizing in their head a picture. If they can't visualize, they can't do it. It means they're a teacher and they haven't taught what they're supposed to teach. Because the teachers are the only ones who can't visualize.
Huh.
Because if we could visualize, we wouldn't be here teaching. We'd have already flown. You see?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Everything is in the mirror.
We couldn't stay grounded if we hadn't been stopped from visualizing.
Right, and I've done that my entire life, though. I mean, that's how I do everything. That's why I'm so good at everything I do.
We couldn't be grounded if we what?
Couldn't visualize it.
A teacher that has to teach visualization technique, if they're capable of visualizing, would have a very difficult time staying grounded, staying here on the earth. Because your natural instinct is to leave.
Yeah.
Once you're free, your natural instinct is, this mud ball can just go to, I'm gone.
Right, you're right. I died twice. I've experienced what it feels like to die, how it feels right when you die. I mean, you know, and so, yeah, you're right. I've always felt like my body is a prison since that happened to me, and it happened in 1995. So, yeah, I mean, it feels like a meat stick, but I just try to ignore that. I mean, you know, I just try to say to myself, okay, you're here for this purpose that you've got, and that's what you've got to do. And then when you're gone from this meat stick, you can look at the Creator in the face and know that you did your best. And that's what I tell myself.
Nope, you won't be able to do that.
Well,
you'll see why. You'll see why in that 30 minutes.
Yeah. It's just like we'll be with him, yeah, or be with the force, isn't it? I just think that I should just call it a force from now on, because that's what it is. How can we define it as humans? How can we even make a definition of what the thing is whenever its perception is everything we perceive? Everything we perceive is its perception. It's within us and it's without us, and it is us. And so, and because we live is because of it, not because of us. It's not my design. It's the design of the force. And it's cocky and arrogant. It has total control over everything. There's no two snowflakes alike. Everything's diverse. I mean, you know, we're all individuals, and the expression that we're having in this life is witnessed by this force that has created us, because we're made up out of its creation. I'll put it that way. That's my perception.
Close. Not quite the banana, but very close.
See, so hopefully I'll see. God help me if I see what I search. Okay?
I only have one thing to say. Never ask for the truth unless you want it.
I'm a seeker of the truth. I'll give you that. There's a lot of people selling lies, but I don't buy those.
Well, there are a lot of people out here that believe they have a truth, and they do have a piece of it, But a piece isn't the whole picture. Now, I'm not saying I have the total picture, because I have one part of it and other people have other parts of it.
That's it. That's why we're
diving. I can tell you where to go for the next step.
High wisdom in here. Let's roll.
Because once you get the Kundalini under control, the next thing you want to find is somebody who deals with harmonics.
Well, see, I like harmonics already. So,
Sound and vibration.
Vibrations.
And that's all Daniel talks about.
Yeah. So, well, harmonics is what we need, Stella. And if you know about harmonics, you know that. You know, everything is a capacity of energy in some form, either kinetic or potential. And so, therefore, it is a frequency and it is a spectrum, but there's also the force, which is like a voltage.
See, with me, I'm trying to stay at a certain level so I can teach what people need to learn from me.
Right. That's your role, and you embrace your role.
So I have to be careful what I learn.
Okay, I see. You don't want no corruption in you, do you?
And you know what? That makes so much sense,
right? You don't
Stella,
want
because people always get so, or like Lee likes to say, they vibrate so high they can't reach down to common folks, and that's my whole point. That never makes sense. So it's so funny you say that, because that's just common sense. If you know you're a teacher or you vibrate or you got all this stuff, of course you'd want to tame it so other people could get what you're trying to even teach them.
Right.
Not just vibrate out of control and look like a crazy person and no one can understand your rants. That's not helping anything. That's nothing. That's a waste of space and energy.
Exactly.
Interesting.
I just have a different way of putting things. It's a little simpler than some of the other teachers.
Yeah.
You know, you have Skull and Bones, so they're number 322.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was just about to bring that up.
Okay. Have you ever thought about it backwards? 223?
Well, I shared it with the group earlier because they were asking. Remember I asked you?
Okay, you have 2, 2, and 3. 2 out of the garden, 2 in the garden, and the 3 later on. Mama, Daddy, and Baby.
So that's back to the creation story, and people have to even be able to see that.
And 3. That's why they say everything's backwards, and they use 322.
And that's what it means.
Today.
Because, Stella, when we looked it up last night, remember? That's what it means in Hebrew. It means backwards.
322 in Hebrew means backwards. And when you take 322 and turn it backwards, you have 223, which is the 2 people outside the garden, the 2 people in the garden, and then the 3, the family of 3. Mother, father, and daughter. There's a shock for most people.
Yeah, most people, not me.
Well, I told you already.
I know. But it was so funny because we shared it in the group today, and that's what they were asking, and that's why I inboxed you like, what did you say? Because I've never heard 322. I might have heard it in the book of Enoch, because I think that was the name of God, Enoch hid or something, and somebody I think found it.
Look at the Skull and Bones.
Mm-hmm.
You sent it to me today. Look at it. Look under the bones what the number is.
322.
Which is what?
If you look at it in the mirror, what are you going to see?
Backwards.
Right.
It's 223. It's the story of the creation.
And see, they do this.
The 2 outside the garden, the 2 inside the garden, and the father, mother, and daughter.
Right. You're looking at the mirror image. See, that's the thing about reality. You have to be able to see and grasp it, and then flip it over and put it in a mirror and look upon it.
Well, you don't even need a mirror. Just flip it. If they tell you this is up, most likely that's down.
Right. Flip it around. 180 degrees from the truth. White's black and black's white. That's crazy.
Well, now think about it. They tell you that white is a combination of all colors.
Huh?
And the Kundalini is white. They tell you that black is lack of all color and is evil.
Which that's where the peace is at, right?
However, have you ever worked with colors?
I have, yes.
Have you ever poured a whole bunch of different colors on one spot and mixed them
Definitely
together?
don't get white. Look, you don't get white.
You sure as hell don't get white.
No.
If you mix enough colors equally together, you're going to get black.
So everything's reversed, what you're even taught as a child in art class. That's nuts.
And the Kundalini needs white.
So I've got to turn all the art in my head around and all the music and everything.
So what we're going to do is take all the colors and mix them with the Kundalini.
Okay, I see.
So the Kundalini, instead of being white running through us, is going to be all the colors of the rainbow and then some.
A rainbow. Right. I've said that. I've seen that for a while. That together we make up a rainbow. That's what that is. It's a rainbow. And it's all the same.
I'm going to introduce you to your rainbow.
Okay, that's great.
And you won't believe your eyes.
Okay.
But I'm going to do it in a private session with each one of you because it's really not a good idea to do it with a group. I've done it with a group before, and then I've had things happen that were really out of control and not the best things to have happen.
Give me an example. What happened?
Her focus can't control more than one person's Kundalini because she's letting it loose, and it's like a snake out of a bag.
Yeah, I want to know what happened. A personal story.
Well, one of the students was at work, and he worked in a steel mill with an overhead crane and one of those great big deals that pours the molten metal into a big form. And he was at work after we had done this work, and something broke up over his head, and one of those beams fell right down where he was standing. And everybody in the shop watched it come down exactly where he was. And then jumped 3 foot forward and hit the ground. It didn't touch him.
Well, it can't, can it? I see, Stella. Okay, you don't got, I mean, I understand. Okay.
Yeah, I understand too. What did you say, Stella?
Can you understand the danger there?
Oh, yeah, yeah, I comprehend.
It can affect your physical as well as your emotional, mental, and spiritual world. That's why I've gotten a lot more careful doing it one-on-one and making sure we have it under control.
Right. I'm sure we'll keep it under control. I don't know, though. You can never tell about things, can you? You just have to, you can't know until you know, can you?
Exactly. It's just like learning about that 322. That I kept trying to figure out what 322 stood for because I kept running into it. I ran into it when I was studying about the skull and bones because they're our biggest problem on this government.
One of them, I'll agree with that. They've got their little private club there, and they got their perversions, but they can do that. I'll love them anyway.
No, you have to understand the skull and bones are basic. They're the attorneys that have taken the oath to Satan.
They're the devil masters and devilish.
So, and they're in charge of the courts.
Okay.
That's what the skull and bones is. It's basically your courts. That's what you're dealing with when you walk into a courtroom. That judge has 3 different hats he trades off of them. One of them is as a priest. And he wants your confession. So he asks you, is your name such and such? Do you recite it so and so? And if you agree, you're guilty.
Okay. The other hat's the Vatican priest that goes to the Holy Holies, right?
You have your priest from the Vatican. You've got your common law. And you've got your maritime. All 3 in the one man. And he doesn't even have to leave the bench to change hats. Although usually they will call a recess or ask for a short time out for lunch.
Funny.
And then they change hats. You'll find it over and over again. Any other questions, Shade? Lee? Probably 1,000 questions. You just don't know which one to ask.
Here's the thing. From my understanding, hey, from Daniel's, his picture's in here because his phone ran out and looks well.
I can only hold it so long.
Right, and it looks like he didn't hang up with the little red thing. So if he gets his phone up, he should be able to just step back into yeah, he should be able to. But from my comprehension of things, okay, let me just lay out. Since we're talking about a courtroom, I walk into a courtroom, okay, there's the bar there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask for permission to enter because I'm trespassing. Okay, and he's going to give me permission. Now, not only did he give me permission to enter, when he does this, he grants me permission to ascend to the highest plane, which is his plane. He's just an actor there. He's nothing of any kind of authority. He wears the black robes to more injustice. I know all about all these things. But here's the thing. They have it all squared off. It's all in squares. What's in the square can't be considered. So the witness box, you can't consider what the witness is saying. The jury's in a box. Not only is it in a box, it's supposed to be 12 jurors. It's 2 rows of 6, and there's a plane in between them. The witness is up. See, it's not a... Well, the reason that they do this is to break the continuance of the evidence in the court. You see? And so you'll announce when you transcend up there, what you're gonna do is you're gonna hand that judge a certified copy of his oath. You're just not going to enter into evidence.
Good luck with that.
You'll hand that to him, and you're locking him into a jurisdiction right with that oath. See? If they want to
go... Good luck with that.
Huh?
I said good luck with that.
Good luck with
You're going to need good luck with that one. Mm-hmm. You see, most of the judges don't have an oath. And the ones
they don't have an oath, I'll arrest him. I'll make that daggone bailiff my tip staff and arrest that judge for not having an oath on the record in the damn clerk's office. That's highly against the law and it's treason to our country.
Excuse me, but there ain't a judge in this country that qualifies as a judge.
Well, they better hope they do.
You know what?
Ends of courts.
Johnny Cash wasn't a shitting when he wrote that song, There's a Man Coming Around Taking Names. I'm not shitting you. Now,
it doesn't matter.
They better get their oath, Stella, before the before the bell tolls.
You have to understand, you don't have to have an oath to act as a judge for an estate.
Well, but you see, before you walk into that thing, you have to commandeer the vessel as a pirate, you could say, because it runs in commerce, allows me to make certain navigations into that court under there. Here's the thing, I'll just tell you, if you really want to know, there's a guy's name is David Wynn Miller, and he teaches what's called quantum language.
David's work.
Okay,
and I told him what's wrong with it over and over again, and he just won't flip and learn.
Well, he has no God in it. He has no creator in it. I mean, there's a lot of problems with it. But the bottom line is the thing that he has shown is the conditions of the words, which words are correct to use to make a factual document under a mathematical navigation. See? And that's the point. It is a way to say things with correctness. In other words, let me say to you, if you would hold up a pen, I would say, well, that's a red pen. See, now I've just done a lawyer thing. I've collared the pen. Because Daniel, he might say, well, Lee, that's not red, that's crimson. And Jada might say, well, Daniel, that's not crimson, that's maroon. See? So when we put the collar on the pen, we put an opinion on the pen, and now we've changed the pen being a fact. We've used an adverb, verb, incorrectness with the words. So what we do is we control the vessel with the volition of our thought, navigating it as a vessel that it is in the sea of the space, in the now time. And when we port this thing, at the post, we crucify them. At the post, we liquidate them. At the post, we turn the post into a safe market location where we transport the cargo in and we liquidate it on the stock market right there at the post office with the stamping of the time that's on the document when it's sent registered mail. And the transaction has already taken place, the evidence already on board, and been, because of the evidence that's on that is the cargo of the vessel itself, it's been directed, navigated, ported, and now it's just done. There's no issue with it. It stands in court. There is no side that anyone can take. You see?
When do you go to court?
There's nothing that they can do.
When do you go to court?
Well, I should be able to do it on 9/11 this year. That's when I'm planning on doing it.
Okay.
And I've got a thing I call a lifeboat. And all it is a document that people need to sign. Now, if people can sign this lifeboat, I can port them in your thing. You understand? Because what I got's a lifeboat. Look, the Titanic's freaking sinking. So all people need to do is take their charge away from them. You do that with signing of the document. If you sign this lifeboat document, you're coming under a contract with me. I'm under a contract as a navigator to navigate you from point A to point B in my lifeboat, where upon we hit the land, I claim your life as a flesh and blood, living flesh and blood, with the DNA, with the picture, with the thumbprint seal, with the stamp mark through, with the mark.
Sorry.
You hear me? And
Sorry about laughing, but my housemate was actually listening without being back here. And he just sent a message up that said find out where he's going to be so we can send a care package to the jail.
Well, you're probably right. But you know what? I'll tell you what. If people will embrace what I'm doing here.
I'll explain your problem, and you think about it between now and when you get ready to go to court.
Well, that's not really going to go to court. It's going
You have a monster in the courtroom. It's a creature of the state. It's been built. It was put together by the attorneys.
Yeah, but see, none of that matters.
Because under the state, an attorney can't collect a fee. If you read all of your laws, all of the bar's laws, an attorney cannot collect a fee when he's working for a person. An attorney working for a corporation, however, where two corporations are having an argument, or two businesses, or a PMA and a business, or a corporation and a PMA, an attorney can get paid. for representing the corporate state creature.
I really don't think they want to do that, Stella, because if they try to represent
They've
anything...
already done it.
No, listen to me. They have to pay fines. That's it. The evidence is the evidence. The court can't consider evidence that's fact. If it's fact and it's prima facie evidence, it's on the face of it. It needs nothing else but the evidence to explain it. Needs no witnesses. Right there it is. You cannot deny that fact.
Judge takes that piece of paper. The judge turns that piece of paper over, and he says, "I don't see
stamps on it. It'll have stamps on it that'll be posted, and I'm a postmaster, and he will not do that in front of me. I'll have him arrested by tip staff. I'll make the bailiff my tip staff too. If people will show up at the court to see that trial is fair, then there's no way that they can handle it. If people will gather, if they'll sign this document, thereby giving me the rights to be a third-party intervener because of my knowledge of what's going on and because of the record that I've made and the facts that I have that I'm bringing in cargo with the vessel, and then the document itself that's got the signature where when a person signs this document, this lifeboat, you're receiving your signature off of everything that's ever happened. You're saying, hey, this was all done under fraud, period. And that's what it is, and it's fraud. And so there's laws that they broke, their own laws. And so it's RICO, it's all these things. And so somebody has to pay or someone has to take an oath and then go under that oath. And that's the thing. But what you're telling me is you got enough to put it in the digital government. We'll just remove them or put them in Puerto Rico under the corporations and rearrange it to where everything's on the public side. That way everything's on the public side. And the public, what it would be is a transition from the private money for public use system that we're under into a public money for private use system. And it's built upon correct paperwork from some other people that I've studied their work, and they're correct. And things have happened, and I'm still even in contact with these people. And the thing is, though, we have even developed through some other friends of mine a bond. It's a bond that we give out to the people with their specific number on it to take into the Federal Reserve banks after the Republic is set in place. Now, I'm pretty sure that they'll want to do this because that's not a whole lot considering they owe 25 million times what they say we owe. Plus, I've got evidence. I've got in evidence financial statements. I can show them. I can just show you. But what these are, I'll send them to you. So you'll get a kick out of these because it'll give your organization the evidence you need to move forward on any kind of action whatsoever, anything. And when you see this water company that's attached to it, it makes sense, a hell of a lot of sense to me now why that's a water company. So I appreciate your knowledge because I just really do. Your knowledge that you shared with me tonight has shown me quite a few things, and in different areas too, but especially this here in the law, because I have a better, firmer understanding of things that I wasn't aware of, and I appreciate it because they're important. You see.
Well, we've actually made movies that are very easy to understand for people. There are 8 of them out now.
That's good. That's really good. And I got a couple movie cameras and all the computers that run and everything. I mean, we've got databases all around different places that store the.
Well, we need people to pass movies around. The more people watch them, the more people will understand what's going on when they walk into a courtroom.
Well, see,
what movies?
People need to be able to do something simple. The simplest thing that I can see.
Creatures of the State, 1 through 8.
Okay, well, you send me the link and I'll copy and paste it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then I'll also.
Well, I sent you the written words that the movies are made from. I sent you that link so you could go through and read them all on the American Herald.
But I want to be able to send a link so people can click on it. Okay. And then I'll even probably start watching them because you know how I watch videos while I'm actually recording and then upload it. I'll do that too so I can comprehend what I'm seeing.
We kind of did it cartoon-like.
I know. Did you see the one I made already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's the now. Another thing that I'm trying to do is to force corporations to, through lawsuits of to get this recurrency here in the United States. They're resistant as hell to it. And the reason why is for every person that would use recurrency, that's Federal Reserve notes that weren't needed. See? And so if they weren't needed, they're not used. If they're not used, they can't be taxed. And so it involves a promissory note. It's under a structure in Switzerland. And, you know, I'm personally involved myself with it. And
well, are you aware of the problem the bank has?
Yes, it's fraud. They have a big problem.
Yeah, but are you aware of what they're not doing?
Okay, enlighten me.
Okay, when you go to the bank and you make a note to borrow money, you don't actually borrow money, you borrow the paper numbers, right?
Exactly, yes. Fiat currency is not worth anything.
Now the bank turns around and they take that signature on that note and they make copies of it and they sell it all over the world.
That's right, and that's all those invisible
One thing they don't do with it, which is what they are supposed to do with it, and that's to send it to the Treasury to be used as an asset for the government.
No, they put it on the stock market and use it themselves.
Right.
Okay,
now,
yes.
what we're doing is we are taking car titles and we are sending them to the Treasury as an asset for the government. These are the only car titles that have ever been sent. We want to see what the Treasury does about it.
I hear you. Well, here's the thing. The title isn't a true title. What the title is it's only like a landlord-tenant. You got the tenant part.
Yes, but you see, the states are holding on to the manufacturer's certificate of origin.
That's right. That's illegal. That's unlawful, and that's fraud.
They're supposed to.
You're correct, and that's fraudulent. That's incorrect, and it's fraud. Okay, look at all the laws that come with that. Oh, my God.
Titles without any certificate of origin from the state that the titles are from, she's going to have to do something.
Well, they'll have to retrieve it from the state.
Right. And they might even ask when they do that if they have any others they haven't reported yet.
Well, and then, see, you could probably, that's a good idea. You could probably use the IRS to come in on some crap like that because they like taking money.
Oh, we've already had fun with the IRS. They'll collect our bills for us.
They're your best friends, see. There's the collection agency. They'll go and balance those books. If you're willing to do, if you know what you're doing, IRS will balance it.
Well, IRS is wonderful at keeping books.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. Yeah, they have to keep those books, don't they? So, you know, we'll let them keep the books right upon themselves too, because every penny they've ever taken has been fraud because it was not fully disclosed. When something's not fully disclosed, it's based and built in fraud.
It actually says on every paper that it's voluntary.
Well, right, but it's done under fraud, and that's part of the fraud. Is that look here? Is that disclosed to you that it's voluntary, that you do this out of voluntary because you want to out of your heart? You do not have to do this whatsoever. No, yeah. They do it in fraud.
At least once on one of the pieces of paper back in the beginning when you first start paying taxes. You get that little blib on the tax paper, but who reads it? Maybe the person who filled out the tax papers read it, but you didn't.
So they just didn't comprehend it.
But you can unvolunteer. And there are a lot of people who have done that and quit paying them.
Well, see, you just the thing is with it is you can't just they have to be corrected. In other words, this has to all be corrected. It can't just keep going to this dictatorship bullshit that they're doing with this hyperinflation part now. Now we know. So the thing is to take the cake before the shit hits the fan, so we can take the cake from them. And the cake is the money. Just make them
How do
put
you
it on the
involunteer?
There's
Huh?
paperwork you can fill out and send in to unvolunteer.
The expatriation would be the best way, wouldn't it?
That's the easiest way. Become an American national, and you're out from under them.
And when you say become
don't pay taxes.
When you say become American national, what does that mean?
Well, that's my country.
Oh,
the United States of America, we call ourselves American nationals. We are not sovereign citizens.
No, that's an oxymoron, Stella.
Citizen is a terrorist.
There's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. That's
you can't be sovereign and be a citizen. You can't be a civic citizen and be sovereign. So I don't understand it, but that's what the cops call people that they want to shoot. And calling you a sovereign citizen is threatening your life, and you can sue them for attempted murder.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really good.
Go after them, bond for it.
Yeah, that's an incorrect term. That's what's called an oxymoron. There's no such thing.
It's like military intelligence. Give me a break.
Well, now they might fool you a little bit there. You know,
my stepfather worked for Main Post Finance in Fort Riley, Kansas. They're not going to fool me at all.
It's the military that got us into this mess, and it's the military that's going to have to get us out of it.
No, it isn't the military who got us into this mess.
Sure it is.
No, it isn't. It's the lawyers.
Well, but see, they're using the military.
The military does as it's told. It
Right.
does the rules and orders of whoever pays it. And who's been paying the military since 1776?
The robbers of our country.
Right! Because they're the ones who put it together in the first place.
But now the military guys, they take the damn oath, right? They're not stupid. They can recognize who in the hell the fucking the domestic enemy is. That's not hard to see anymore. Pardon my French. I don't mean to curse like that, but...
Well, most of them are overseas already.
So they're going to... Yeah, so they got to plan. Well, these people plan way ahead, don't they? That's okay. God comes right along with his little ammo to them.
I sat at the governor's mansion and listened to President Eisenhower, Vice President Richard Nixon, talking about the New World Order taking place in the future. And how it was going to happen. And then I have watched it over the years unfolding before my very eyes.
So he said everything he was going to do, and now you've seen it come true.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Like a play act.
And I'm back here stopping it.
Like a TV program that they just content, like a soapbox opera that never ends, huh?
It's kind of like a plan that was set into effect before they ever landed people on this continent.
Well, that's why the word must be messed up. See, another word that they'll separate.
Now, if you've studied the Bible, you've gone into Revelations at least once.
Yes.
And read about the kings and the crowns and the harlot and so on and so forth. And everybody has a different interpretation of what all those different things are.
I think that's how it's supposed to be, Stella.
But if you look at the flags of the nations and then read Revelations, you'll understand it perfectly. You don't need anything else but the flags.
So you can see which
I don't
countries
understand.
are what. You're talking about which countries are what, and we can't let it get to that point. That's the thing.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, she's talking about Armageddon.
We are already past there.
Yeah, I agree with that. So what are you speaking of with the flags?
Armageddon a long time ago. We are looking at the days just before the great snake, the dragon, whatever you want to call his butt, the bad boy out there, is kicked off Earth permanently, along with all his do-goody buddies.
Okay. And that's the grafting of the race into the tree of life. Okay.
God, he's got it. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting, I'm going to be an American national and not deal with all the bull out there.
Well, see, I've already stepped out. I have completely stepped out myself through my paperwork, period. And I have secured myself in commerce, and I'm willing to teach others how to do that. And I would,
Do you have an address?
Huh?
Do you have a mailing address?
My commercial vehicle does, and I do accept mail for it at that address.
Okay. Do you accept the mail for it?
I haven't been, but I've been thinking about sending everything that they send in that capitalized name to the dead letter office that they have. Okay.
If you're using the zip code in any way, shape, form, or fashion, if you say that you live in a state, in any way whatsoever, you're a part of the corporation.
Well, I have a...
Because I don't live in any state. And you'll understand this real quick. I don't live in any state. You don't live in any state. Every time you say you live in a state, you're lying your teeth out. Same for you, Jada. Anytime you say, I live in Florida, you're lying. Do you see why?
It's a franchise.
No.
The states are franchises to this corporation.
Stop and think. Why would I say you don't live in a state?
You live on it.
Exactly. But everybody says, I live in Florida. I live in Michigan.
That's why in my documents say I'm a make domicile at, on the state of for the Republic of the state of West Virginia, or anywhere else I choose.
I live in the United States of America, and I'm a foreigner to the corporate nation.
See, me
and
too.
If they want to deal with me, they have to talk to my Secretary of State. And their Secretary of State won't talk to my Secretary of State, so I don't think we're going to get very far.
Why will they not talk to your Secretary of State? Because they're afraid of being prosecuted?
Got it.
Why? Well, then let's prosecute their ass with it. I'm ready to move forward with prosecution to bring on correctness.
Slowly but surely, yes, they wrong us.
Well, we just do it all at once. They're fraudulent. They need to go. They got to stop. They're fraudulent. They're void. They're void. They're not there by a lawful standard.
Paperwork up. All anybody has to do is go up, look at the paperwork, file it.
There's the evidence.
File it in their case and use it.
Well, we'll file it. We'll file it on September 11th, or yeah, September 11th. That's when this is where I've set it.
September 11th. I don't know if you'll even have a courtroom still to talk to.
Well, I just set that as
hours, and it'll laugh at your paperwork because there's no affidavit in it. If you don't have an affidavit of fact to go in front of our court, it won't hear it.
You know what? I could run this through your guys' court and get judgment, probably.
Probably.
through the Republic. If I get judgment through the Republic, there's no way they could stop me then if the offices are filled. And I'm telling you. Well, let me just read a couple bylines of the correct sentence structure for you. For instance, for this emergency writ of the eminent domain is with the necessity of the public safety and maximum of the law by the claimant knowledge, record, fact. For the correct sentence structure, communication, parsing, syntax, language of this author is with the correction of the wrongdoing by the first-hand knowledge of these facts and is with these quantum language mathematical interface communication methods, and by this witness duty for correctness is with the taking of the corporation, by the liquidation of the cargo, with the vessel, by this special duty, galactic postmaster, plenipotentiary judge, author, Robert Lee Thomas Jr. Okay, and then this is the claim. For this claimant's knowledge of the live life, or with the live birth and live life birth and factual live life birth by the picture, fingerprint seal, and or blood, saliva, DNA sample. And then it's based on Psalms 82. It's a decree, a notice, an affidavit, and a tort. Okay, which what the document does is it liquidates the cargo at the dock. So it's a good thing, okay? And it took me a long time to be able to even do it, but it took me a long time to do it. And there's only 25 claims. There's those 3 sentences I read you. Then there's 7 sentences laying out the decree of, because they're devil masters, just like you said, and I guess that's going to be addressed in the Skull and Bones. And then the Templars would be the ones that are addressed by the transfer of the money from the private money public use system that is corrupt that they've got into a transparent public money for private use, which means that the public then hold the money in the accounts that they've already got there. The accounts are funded. The inheritance of God is laid into those accounts. So it's funny. It's just funny that I kicked off a thing saying that I was going to bring heaven to earth, and this is just funny to me. But it's kind of crazy. I don't know. I'm in an altered state of awareness anyway from that video I did. But the thing is, okay, look, the people that do this, what they're interested in doing.
The problem you're going to have with your paperwork is you're not going to find a judge who's going to understand one freaking word of it. They're dumber than most people.
Well, the judges won't know, but the authority knows. That's the important thing.
The judge is the one that has to read it.
Well, the judge can't read it. It's sealed. He can't put that anywhere in the public. He's under a gag order. He opens that up in the public, he's got to be crazy.
They're crazy. No doubt about it. They're crazy.
She said, they're going to kill you, boy. I don't care, Stella.
Try to tell them, Stella.
Listen, I've got secondary progressive multiple sclerosis.
They will just lock him up as a terrorist.
Listen to me. I've got secondary progressive multiple sclerosis. I was told by my doctors I had 3 years. I'd be in a wheelchair, and within 5, a quadriplegic. Now, that's a person who's paralyzed and cannot even move their body, okay? And so that's been going on 6 years now. And so,
well, are those the same type doctors that told me I couldn't have any children when I was a kid?
Probably. But the damage is there, and it doesn't.
The problem is, I have 6 sons. One of them's 50.
I hear you. So they were really full of it, huh? So, but the thing is, though, that's a bad prognosis. I was told, Lee, get your affairs in order by my doctor in the private. He told me, you just get your affairs in order. You need to do that. And I've done that. And so if I leave something behind, I want to leave something behind for all humanity to benefit from, not something that's at their expense, you see? Something that is built upon where everyone's success, and something that is...
That's what my government's doing.
Right. That's why we're talking.
And well, we have a thing.
Look, it takes just these people who are aware to come together, not to be apart, not labels. No, screw the labels. Drop the divisions and let's all come together and do our thing. You hear me? That's all we need.
No,
Everybody
what we
just
need is 3 people in each state of this union to say, I'm going to get up off my ass and do something. 3 people in each state is all it frickin' takes.
Well, we'll get that. If that's all we need, that's nothing.
That's what we need.
So what you're saying is we need, on a local basis now within the state itself, a 3-party structure for the government to start setting up on the dissure side in the states.
Right.
Okay, I understand.
We've got the main corporate, we've got the main government set up with people. We've got the people in their seats. We have no states out here.
So once we get the states, what? We'll hold an election immediately and put the, is that how we're going to do this?
It holds its own elections. We've already held our national election. It takes place in December.
Okay. So I'm talking as people would enter into this nation that, that's what it is. It's the republic.
It's a separate nation. That's right.
I mean,
it's a country inside this country.
See, I started, I would say about
all of the metes and bounds of the land. To 12 miles out all the way around.
Well, now see, here's the other thing. I comprehend how to do the allodial title, which we drop the A, so it's, we call it lodial to be correct because it means no lodial. It means original location is what it means. And when you get lodial title to the property, that means you're no longer a tenant on it. You're actual owner in possession of the property of it. And that's where that they, split the title on the property as well and hold them in the courthouses. So technically,
hold on just a second. I want to check something.
Yeah, thank you, Jada. This is a very fun conversation tonight.
Oh, I love Stella. Me, Stella, and Santos were on for about 5 hours last night. Well, Santos got off in about an hour or 2, and me and Stella, 5 this morning.
Well, Daniel's going. She ought to just teach me this Kundalini thing.
Well, she was trying to teach me and then want me to teach others, but I don't know yet. I'll wait till I know I'm ready.
Well, the thing about it is, once you have the link, I sent you the easiest way to find out about my government. Remember?
Where'd you send it?
To your Skype.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Spread it around.
I posted one on here. I posted the Reign of Heavens.
Yeah, but I sent you the very easiest way to get acquainted with our country.
Okay, I'll post it on here.
Which has all the different links of what they might be interested in. Our court system, our
embassy
police system.
I'll post it on here.
Various states. There's something about everything in there. So whatever you're interested in, you can find.
I'll tell you what I really liked last night, Stella, from the minutes that I listened to from Range of Heaven, was the health center, and they called it a health center, or not? I'm sorry, a healing center. Excuse me. Daggone it, I'm a nuthead. But yeah.
Well, the whole idea of health is to heal people, not to treat them.
Exactly. I really thought that was an awesome, awesome idea of it being a healing center. That's just awesome. And the way that he was talking about what would be considered here unorthodox type medications, which are true, probably more ancient than this crap that this science stuff has produced, the false sciences.
The science stuff, if you really want the truth, they went into pagan areas or Aborigine areas and saw what the Aborigines were using and saw what the pagans were using, and then made an artificial substitute of the same thing.
Chemically.
Yes.
So it poisons us.
They made a chemical equivalent.
Right, I understand that. Yep, you're correct. Because
people don't even understand that. That's even with vitamins.
Then they cut it to the extent that it doesn't cure, it just treats.
Mm-hmm. Practicing, they're medical practitioners. They're practicing medicine.
They're practicing medicine. I want somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing, not still practicing.
I've seen people in China heal a woman with a 3-inch tumor in 2 minutes and 40 seconds just by being the vehicle of believing she was already healed. And you could heal yourself. Vitamin C, anything. You can do so much stuff just to oxygenate your blood to counter react all the stuff we're eating and ingesting. So if we're sick, don't focus on the sickness. Let's focus on all the good health we have, and let's just keep building on that, and then the sickness will dissolve.
Well, look, here's what happens. Whenever you align with the Creator, your vibrations flow correctly, all of your gears work correctly, and you're energized in the correct way, because if you're aligned with the Creator, you're aligned with love, compassion, empathy, gratitude, hope, these type of things. You're not associating anymore with hate and all those things that come with it, anger and anxiety and frustration and rage and just all those things. You're not in that anymore. You're not affected by it anymore.
They're basically useless emotions.
Right. Well, but that's the vibratory field that we're put into by fear and the trauma that we're exposed to our soul. It's not natural, and Stella, it's not natural to watch a scene created in Hollywood where someone's beheaded or someone's shot or someone's cut and they're bleeding. Even though it's make-believe and it's make-believe, it still takes a part of your soul. So I would say our great-great-great-great-grandfathers, if we had a time machine to bring them here, they'd have a heart attack within 2 or 3 hours of watching modern-day television.
Oh, yeah. They'd probably also ask you, why is that thing telling me to go get a sandwich? Why is that thing telling me to go buy cookies?
Right, because they're never exposed to none of it. And
well, the thing about it is, their eyes are better than ours, and they'll see those subliminals, and they'll ask you what that picture is for.
Right.
And you won't be able to answer them because you can't see them.
They'll see all the symbols and everything right in our faces. Well, see, here's the thing, though. So what I'm saying is you naturally, when you seek to develop the person that you are, the inner development of yourself for the benefit of yourself, that's benefiting you. See, each of us is benefited for that. And if we're not aware of it, then how can we know? And so that's the thing. But I don't think everyone's going to seek for inner development, but if enough people actually do, it'll cause that to be what's normal and not what we have as normal. See? And so, but it's better. Love is better. Peace.
The slaves out here to get the Kundalini under control. They're no longer slaves.
Which I understand what you're saying there. So that was just it. I thought the whole system.
They're no longer going to be something they can feed off of. It's like.
So explain. I still don't understand.
It's like you're plugged into a machine, and the machine is drawing energy from you, and you pull the plug.
Okay.
Okay? As you were coming up, doing your psychic work, and straightening out your bodies, getting off of the meat eating, and so on and so forth, improving yourself, you were disconnecting yourself from that plug. However, when you took that blood and put it on that paper and made that oath, you plugged yourself back in. So what we're going to do is take that plug, put it where it belongs, which isn't out there where they can draw from it. It's within ourselves. And once it's plugged where it belongs, we will not have other people feeding off of us. We'll have our own energy. We can use our own energy how we please. And we can become the creators that we're meant to be.
So since I put blood and shared my blood, even though I did it in a loving way, pure intent, with a heart, you're saying...
plugs you back in. It's like I love you slap. Because you're taking two things at the same time.
Well, I'll say this, okay? My experience with the Creator is He leads me to do things. So if I did it with that much conviction, it was what I was supposed to do, and I accept my responsibility.
You were supposed to do it at that exact time and that exact minute, because nothing happens the Creator doesn't want that to happen.
Right, and I'm in tune with that.
Okay, now finish your sentence to that, because you said that to me yesterday, Stella, and then how did that conversation end?
Well, if I remember right, you went to bed.
No, Stella. I stayed up with you. No, Lee, she was saying that after I did that, I plugged myself back in, but everything happens for a reason. And then the reason was, here came Stella. And then she explained it a certain kind of way to make me realize, to understand, I need to get rid of that. That part where that blood is, burn or bury, catch it on fire, burn it or bury it, to get that oath broken that I basically taken when I put my seal on there with blood.
Because see, you made an oath on your head.
Right, I did that willingly, though, just like a captain of a ship would have done. Just like a captain of a ship would have done. See?
If you break that oath, then you have to come back to straighten that oath out.
I'm not going to break the oath. I meant it.
Darling, you can't help but break the oath as long as your Kundalini works. And your Kundalini will work until this body dies.
Can you explain that a little more?
You can't keep the oath.
Why could I not keep the oath to love everyone and everything?
Jesus.
Here's my
Okay, let me give you an example. You see a man standing there. He's cutting the skin off of a 4-year-old child in front of you. Do you love him?
I can't stand and I hate that deed that he's doing, Stella, but yes, I have to say that I would have to love him. It's required from me to love him, but not his deed. Okay?
Right.
And to forgive him if he's walking into forgiveness. But if he's not, then I'm to correct him with a rod.
But eventually, with enough garbage piled on top of you, you're going to say, oh, that guy is bad.
You're right. You're right. And I'll weep over it even. I couldn't imagine.
As soon as you say he's evil, you've broken that deal. You've broken the oath.
I understand what you're saying
to
me.
Your head is back here for another lifetime and another reincarnation.
Right. Which I understand exactly.
So would that even be breaking of the oath if we smoke cigarettes or do anything like that, since we said with all our heart we're going to love everything and everyone?
A cigarette, anything that is bad for your body that you put into it, a Coca-Cola, a piece of candy. There's
immediately broken oath.
Ways to break that oath.
So if I want to right my wrong, what do you suggest?
Well, but I believe in the law. I'm not changing nothing until God tells me. But now, JD, you do what you want. I'm just
asking questions because it pretty much makes sense to me.
Well,
because I done already got mad tonight.
I'm going to say this: the Christ consciousness gives me salvation. If I commit something that's morally wrong, that's dead wrong on God's end, He has grace to forgive me. And once I realize that I did something wrong and I repent that, then I've repented it and I have forgiveness for it. Now,
so you don't feel like you did anything wrong?
No, I didn't call the Holy Spirit nothing bad. I didn't blaspheme against the Holy Spirit.
That's not what she's even saying, though, Lee.
Yeah, but that's the only unpardonable sin.
Talking about all the blood.
Right.
What I'm just asking is, do you want to reincarnate, come back on this earth and put up with this again? Or do you want to go ahead and be what you're supposed to be?
Well, see, I can have one foot in the fire and one out. I'm allowed. I'm separated for this reason. So maybe this is just what's supposed to happen.
Well, the thing about it is you can decide if you want to reincarnate or not.
Right.
Is there going to be any more reincarnations?
Sure, if you want to.
Because for some reason I keep thinking this.
Any year that you've already spent.
Well, this time around, there's this great white throne, and and that's the thing, so that this race can be grafted into the tree of life. See, and so the only way that can happen is for there to be harmony in humanity, for us to be what we were designed to be, not just what we are, what we
that's
were
called
designed
intent.
to be. Exactly, and that's
what we are is what we're supposed to be. The only problem we have is we don't realize what we are.
That's it. Yes, and once we do, then we realize what others are.
Exactly.
And so, see, and so that's the thing. What we have to do is we have to see the value in each, because each is valuable. Now, I learned this from a dog, believe it or not. I couldn't understand it at all. And my dog, whom I love to pieces, okay, I've had her since a puppy, I love her to pieces, but she was pregnant and having puppies, and I noticed it was a big litter. And about 7, 8 puppies into it, I looked up, and that old first puppy, Priscilla, that was born, her belly was just, she was like a pot-bellied pig. And I thought, oh my God, she's drinking all the milk from the other pups, and they just keep coming, and these other ones aren't fat like her. So I pulled, as soon as I realized this, I pulled her off of that dog's titty. Her belly was full. She had enough milk. Now, she come first, but I wasn't concerned about her no more. I was concerned about whether that last puppy born was going to have some milk in them titties, see, of my dog. And so that is when that mystery of heaven was revealed to me, as he that comes first shall be last, and he that comes last shall be first, because it's very hard to comprehend that. It was for me anyway. Of why? That's why. Because the Creator loves all. See? He loves all, and everything is an expression of Him. Ultimately, it's His universe. It's His creation. Okay?
Do you know why the last is going to be first?
Enlighten me.
Okay.
I saw it for the perspective I was supposed to see, and for my understanding at that time that he showed it.
Right. Now it's time to grow a little bit.
Double and triple meanings for everything, I know. Lay it on me,
Okay.
Stella.
You can see when you look up, you can see the firmament, right?
Say that again.
When you look up, you can see the firmament over your head.
Yes.
The clouds, the sky, so on.
Right.
Okay? The last one to come through that firmament will be the first one on the earth.
Okay, I see what you're saying. It hasn't happened yet.
Right.
You understand, Jada?
No.
Oh, no. Okay.
The last one to come through that firmament will be the first on earth.
Oh, okay, because that's when earth will be revealed and it'll be heaven on earth.
That's when the ruler gets here.
Okay.
She's saying that we're already from the future.
He comes in and the order is set. There won't be another birth. Or death.
So then everyone's here.
Right.
Okay.
We're all here. We keep being back here over and over and over, and all we're doing is waiting. Killing time.
We keep getting tricked and trying to get it right, don't we?
Yeah. And we didn't get it wrong in the first place.
It's just an expression of the Creator.
Exactly.
It's for His benefit, as much as ours. I'm glad He gave me the benefit of the life.
Well,
I can't say.
Actually, it wasn't for his benefit. It's for the children. Not our children. His children.
Right, because he gives it away where he loves us.
No, because he's got two boys.
Okay.
One's an asshole and one's a sweetheart.
Okay.
And the asshole has to be taught.
I see.
And he's learning from us.
The asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. This is worse than I thought it was. That's not good. This sucks. Oh, no. Why did I come here? I'm a dumbass for being here in the first place, then, Stella.
Who is the God of this system?
Damn.
Who is the God of this system?
Why would we
He's
come
not
here?
the creator.
Why would anybody even come into this?
Who is it?
It's
It's
Lucifer.
Satan himself.
Lucifer.
Yeah.
I mean, you see it in all the governments. You see it in all the leaders. If you look in their eyes, they're dead. I mean, there's no life in them. There's no sparkle.
Oh, gosh.
They got a flame, though, Stella.
Of course.
What is it, for greed or what? What drives these people?
They're the greedy
Control, power, toot their own horn? What is it?
powers. There's your word. Power, control, and feeding. They feed off of our negatives.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that.
If we cry, they laugh. So what happens when we quit crying?
They cry.
They lose the ability to laugh.
Oh, okay. So they think it's funny.
Well, to them, us being in misery is funny because they're eating it up.
They're eating it up. My God.
The Kundalini feeds them every bit of negative emotion this body has.
So I've noticed negativism. If I use negativism, it's like real fast acting. It's the positive things that have to be focused really hard.
Right.
Like negative stuff, it don't even got to be focused. It just goes out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
See, I don't try to.
All day long.
Yeah, I'm trying not to do that at all.
Okay, well, we're going to end this because I'm recording.
Okay, darling.
And no, we're not going to stop talking, but I'm going to end this because we can only record 4 hours, and it's hitting 4 hours.
Oh, heavens.
And we really didn't even get to Rain of Heaven.
Got me started, I don't shut up.
I know, I love it.
You're good. Listen,
So,
don't throw it away, though, because there's some very interesting things I'd like to
oh, no,
review.
I'm going to post it, but if I don't stop it, I can't post it because it'll be longer than 4 hours.
Oh, okay.
So I'm about to post this, and then, of course, I'm going to bring, do whatever else with Stella, always. I told you I'm going to do a whole thing with Stella. And you. So let me post this real quick. Hold on, Stella.